This is Mike Burton from the Genuine Chit Chat podcast, and you're listening to Emotionally 14's The Crazy Train.
Hey, howdy and hello, and welcome to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails from Emotionally 14. Bear with us, this is a wrestling special, so I am joined, as always, by my rock, Blake Harmer.
People's eyebrow.
Works really well over radio,
well.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And returning after a hiatus is the man of 1,000 anecdotes. Watch out for that anecdote. Omer Ibrahim is doing.
In preparing for this podcast, I remember that Scotty Too Hotty and K Quick were a tag team.
Oh God, they were.
I wanted to come up with something for the introduction, and this morning that came to brain. So
Right. Well, often these things are divine providence in a
Getting
way.
rowdy.
I think. I'm going to knee you through a police car window. I'm hoping you've seen that video. Otherwise, that's just inappropriate. It's just really, really rude.
Let's never timestamp this podcast so nobody really knows what you just said.
Indeed. No context. And joining us for his Crazy Train debut, our good friend, Alex Gilbert.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
Hello. How's everyone?
Good. Welcome aboard.
Whee. I'm ready for this crazy train.
Well, good, because you seem to be in the spirit of it already, which is nice. You know.
Well, he was
and-
here before us, so
Well, yeah.
we couldn't really.
Well, not me. I live here. Yeah.
Somehow we still get here before you.
Yeah. Well,
We did turn up early once, and he made us just stand in the corridor while he finished a different podcast.
that's true.
I'm not even lying.
That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. I did. I was recording with the Master Debaters podcast, and we were overrunning by about 5 minutes. You and Brad had arrived, and I was just like, "Look, I'm really sorry, but I'm almost done." So I was just saying
We're in
goodbye.
the corridor, just like, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, no, I've been all right. Where you been? No, we went out the other day.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. I make no apologies for this. I did at the time, but I've since walked it back. So, this is an unusual. I say we don't normally have a central theme running through the episode, but this time round we are joined by a pair of wrestlers, and obviously, you know, Alex, you're here. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but Blake is fucking huge in Japan.
Looking at him, he's fucking huge in
I
front
was
of
going to say, well, that's partly because they're quite small.
heavyweight man.
Very close. Very close.
Easy goal.
Oh, God.
Hey, it lives. So, if you've never heard the Crazy Train before, and you're just like, what are these twats badgering about? What you're in
bad
for?
time to start.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, one of the best. So, if you've never heard the Crazy Train before, we are the comedy podcast with no rails. We start with a point of entry, and then we go where the conversation takes us. I didn't make that sound sexual. Nobody knows where the Crazy Train goes. To sexual places, it turns out.
Up your bum.
If that sounds up your street, then welcome aboard and we're glad to have you. If it doesn't, then stick a spoon up your ass and get to Fuck Island. But thank you for trying. So,
The spoon sounds sexual as well.
well, this is true.
A little bit of teaspooning.
I've somehow made it worse, yeah. But
What I
nevertheless.
like is that all of this, I know that my manager, I know all the people I work with are going to be listening to this.
Well, good. Good.
And what a great way to start.
That'll up our downloads. That'll up our downloads significantly.
How many racial slurs before you get fired?
That is an interesting litmus test.
Because I play that all the time
Yeah.
at work, but I'm self-employed, so
How many?
just shouting racial slurs at the wall.
Oh, that's what that Yale review was about.
It's a door alarm. Didn't realise I was there.
It's an interesting litmus test. It's like, how many races does somebody else have to say before you get fired? It'd be an interesting experiment, but let's not. Partly because I don't want to find out the answer for me. I don't know how many we're up to so far, but that many. That many minimum. So yeah, Alex, you are a wrestler,
I am, yes.
Yes.
Under the name of Dow Jones.
which is a wonderful, wonderful name. As somebody who appreciates money, it's a lovely thing.
I would.
Yeah,
it surprises me.
you touch so much.
I touch so much money.
It surprises me how many people don't get the pun.
Really?
I mean, Omar, you've met many of the guys.
Yeah,
And the amount of times, even people I've known for like a decade go, I just get your name. Like, you were on the news.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And you go, I've known you for a decade. How have you not?
You were on the news.
Yeah, you were on the news. Like Dow Jones went down 10 points. What are 10 points?
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
a lot of people got it when they would get like smartphones that come with like a stocks thing as standard that you can only just now delete after years.
Yeah.
And I guess they might click. Oh yeah, like.
The Dow.
How did people? But it does sound like a name. I've heard you say it before. It really does sound like a person's name. So it's perfect.
I was like, well, it sounds like a person.
Pun.
Why can't I be that person?
Yeah, exactly.
And at the time of creating the gimmick, it was when sort of like the credit crunch had happened.
Okay.
So it was a bit like, well, how can I walk out and people instantly boo me?
Yeah.
And at the time, everyone hated bankers.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, how can I be a banker?
At the time.
Yeah, they've walked it back since then. Now they just loathe
in
them.
the podcast. That one won't help.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of walked it back to just gentle loathing now, but, you know.
We'll remember soon.
Exactly. You know, ultimately there's that. So, yeah, you started in, like, so around that sort of time you kind of created the gimmick. And had you just been kind of using your own name before then?
Well, it was a bit of a funny story. Yes is the short answer. But I'd gone to university and I'll be honest, my parents hated the idea of me doing wrestling. So we sort of did this agreement that I would go...
I'm really glad you went there because I just heard you... Like, my parents hated... And I was like, no. Depressed track.
3 wheels of sad.
Thank you.
It was either get thrown head first through tables or cut myself. So.
Shut up.
Do you know how many people that you are going to know people that would say those words?
Yeah,
that's true.
That is very true.
Wrestling is therapy sometimes.
Yeah, I believe it.
But yeah, so I did do it as Alex for a little while, and then
Just Alex.
I was just like Alex, and then the nickname 350 came around. But the story goes, it was mainly because I couldn't do a forward flip.
Yeah.
So I would land on my heels and then land on my ass, and they're like, "Hey, that's a 350. Hey, it's Alex 350."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't like this."
Fuck off.
Yes.
Oh, if you hadn't found the gimmick you're in, can you imagine that as like a failed high spot? I mean, it wouldn't have legs, but like you'd go up to the top and just spike yourself.
To be fair, somebody with no legs is not a good high spotter. Zach Gowen once. Yes. Yeah. And then Brock Lesnar killed him or something. I don't know.
Just threw him down some stairs, didn't you?
I think didn't he wrap him around a ring post?
Yeah, he F5'd his leg into a ring post.
Yeah, that's right.
I've always liked the discussion with Zach Gowen that he always would win the Royal Rumble because both feet need to hit the
it's
floor.
true.
Well,
Yeah.
unless you've got the other one.
Yeah, somebody just... Can you imagine, like, he's in the Royal Rumble, somebody tossed him out, and then this leg just comes out from the crowd, just lands on the floor. He's like, he's been eliminated! It's like, Jesus Christ. I got dark fast. But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then it was just I was thinking, right, well, I haven't really got the physique for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to wear like a full body outfit. Okay, I'll do it in a suit.
Yeah.
Because that instantly, people understand what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all the old school, like sort of early 90s, late 80s.
The gimmick stuff.
Yeah, I do. And I know it's not a popular thing to say.
I get it.
But I super love
It's
it.
growing, the popularity, and it's growing like the amount of people that don't like the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose spoke out against it, saying
really?
that while the creativity and the quality of the entertainment, there was no scope for matches unless you were main eventing like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Look at like the Headbangers, 3-minute tag team matches.
Yeah,
Great wrestlers. They hit that goddamn powerbomb leg drop thing spot on.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Every time, how? It's one of those ones that should fuck up more than it doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dean Ambrose was saying, like, looking at it, they enjoyed before and after because the wrestling quality came up afterwards because it was all about being as violent and as sexual as possible.
Spots. Like, it wasn't just the wrestling.
Spots.
Not just the wrestling spots, but just spots. Like,
everybody
moments.
remembers, like, you know,
Beer trucks
name
and...
Stone Cold's greatest matches. Well, everybody remembers the beer trucks.
Yeah,
he's got, those matches with Kurt, but that's his proudest one, is the one where he took like 22 German suplexes. That was technically out of the Attitude Era, as it was becoming the Ruthless Aggression. So
kind of in that transition period,
but, like... but it's saying like a lot, saying it's unpopular to like the gimmick stages. No, people loved that. That's what people remember, the toys and all that.
Absolutely, that's always my argument. And as time's gone on, I mean, Omar will be able to back me up on this one. But at first, it was like just a guy in a suit, just being generically bad.
Yeah.
But as time's gone on, I realised, hang on, I love the quote, be yourself but turned up to 11. So I was like, right, how can I make my character outrageous?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, bankers, yeah, fine. And then it's sort of tweaked now into just an arrogant rich guy.
Yeah.
And what I quite like is the subtle, I'm doing stuff that the people in the audience secretly want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing boot tassels like the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage. The jacket is outrageous. But what I love is when I go to the shows, if I feel like I lose the match, whatever, when the referee's like tidying up the ring, there'll always be a kid going, can I wear his jacket?
Yeah.
And I love the photos that I see of like this 7-year-old kid wearing this jacket, and it just dwarfs them.
And then the picture afterwards of you charging him for
Virgil style.
handing over 20 quid.
Yeah.
He gets it back. It's just a good photo op.
So that's I just love the gimmicks. And I mean, the Attitude Era obviously made things popular.
Sure.
And the joke, I got asked at work a couple of weeks ago, like, Alex, well, you seem quite confident. Why? And this is a horrible way to explain it, but when I was 5, I was like, wrestling is cool.
Right.
And then 7, wrestling is cool. 9, wrestling is cool. Then wrestling actually became cool, and I was like, well, I was always right.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me for the rest of it. I'm like, yes, I knew stuff when I was 5. Yeah.
Yeah, because normally, like, there's this kind of temptation, I guess, nowadays, where if somebody's like, let's say 5 years old, wrestling's cool; 7 years old, wrestling's cool; 9 years old, wrestling's cool; 11, wrestling's actually cool, and they're like, I never liked it.
Yeah.
Only on vinyl.
Wait, I mean, how many podcasts, like, even in the early days of this podcast, we touched upon, like, the nerd culture becoming cool, and wrestling is so much part of that.
Totally.
But it's still. You know, like comic books, you know, look at the new Avengers on the the tickets went on sale today, I think.
Yeah,
Crash websites.
And it's, crashed websites.
We've never done that. Literally
queues.
never once. 13 downloads, fuck.
But wrestling you can still rag on.
Yeah.
Like, it's the last...
Well, wrestling and Christianity seem to be the safe ones you can joke about, and it's fine. Like,
attract children and men in pants. I don't know.
I mean,
brilliant.
To a degree.
But wrestling you can still kind of rag on. It's cool because if you look at the amount of money the WWE, I often think, is it WWE it's cool or is wrestling cool? Is WWE sellotape?
I think
or is everything sticky back plastic. Like, kids don't say. I think it may have been one of the Benellis that said this. Kids don't say, did you watch the wrestling? They said, did you watch Raw? They say, did you watch WWE or did you watch Raw? Did you watch SmackDown?
Yeah.
Did you watch Mania? And I think that Vince has done a really good job of, like Games Workshop.
Yeah.
They've started to say the hobby.
Or like Nintendo.
How many people or PlayStation?
Yeah.
How many people's nans would, he wants that new PlayStation thing. And it's an Xbox.
Yeah. It's actually one of those shitty Android boxes that sits under the telly. It's called like the egg box.
But it's changing. I mean, look at the way they were wording Dean Ambrose's exit back to him recently. That he's not signed his contract, and they didn't say he's broken his spine. He's retiring. They just said he's going elsewhere. And I'm like, oh wow, they're like. And they are right, but they're showing Impact footage, and from the Cruiserweight Classic up to now, like these guys appearing elsewhere. There's a local convention that got cancelled.
Yes,
But they've now got Tony Storm and Pete Dunne doing a signing instead of the convention. That, can you imagine? That would be like, I don't know, like Rob Van Dam and Christian.
Yeah.
Of like the 2000s.
Yeah.
Just appearing, but I mean, it did happen, but maybe not in the UK as much.
No, probably not.
3 or 4 times.
RVD's done Comic-Con since.
Yeah, RVD has been.
the last few years.
That's like independently.
Yeah.
That'd be. I mean, but they're the champions.
Yeah, they're
so
a big
that's
part of
big.
it.
Sure.
That's great.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Great.
I mean, the thing that throws me off is, as a kid, I remember going, WWF, I love WWF, and then wrestlers disappeared, like Hulk Hogan would disappear, Bruce Beefcake. And I remember once...
Those are the ones that really... Bruce Beefcake hurt, man. What a betrayal.
I think it was the tassels.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I'm sensing a theme.
And don't delve any deeper.
Good advice for us all.
But then I think my dad recorded... I'm going to ignore that.
Glossing over. Yeah, because I have to pay Comedy Central money if we do acknowledge it, so let's just move on.
And I remember my dad recording, because I was well into Gladiators at the time as well, and there was American Gladiators, and it was on ITV.
Yeah.
And he recorded American Gladiators, but also WCW Worldwide.
Okay.
And as a 7-year-old, I was like, "What? That's the big boss man? Why is he the guardian angel?
Yeah.
And my dad trying to not explain copyright infringement to a 7-year-old who's like, yeah, no, he wants to be called something different. Yeah, but he's the big boss man. Yeah, but he likes wearing black now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's the big boss man. It's like, yes, and believe me, that reputation will stick with him to ruin this career. This will be the only thing he will come back because of this. But don't get me wrong. But yes, for now, he has to be called something. He has to be, okay?
And I just remember not understanding.
Yeah.
Because Hulk Hogan was still Hulk Hogan.
Sure.
And I can just imagine my dad, like, looking back now, I feel sorry for him, probably ripping his hair out going, I don't know how to explain this to a child.
Yeah.
What is
I guess
this?
now, like, because probably the doors to it weren't so open, that now you just say, oh yeah, you could probably explain to a certain age child, like the WWE owns that part of his name, so he has to be like a singer in a band, and he's in a different band now.
It's like if Bono joined a different band and the copyright was held for U2 by, Sorry, you were just looking over my shoulder and I couldn't. Is she home and I haven't noticed? Just getting my ear licked or something.
It probably all comes down to, like, it's Jim Cornette's point that once you expose something, you expose everything. Like, so if you said, oh yeah, no, he works for someone else now, so the best change his name. Oh, it's a Hulk Hogan isn't his real name. He doesn't. Does he really do all that other stuff?
Does he really have
Hogan was always, his gimmick was just a big muscular dude.
Does he have a 10-foot cock, or is that terrible?
Well, I see, that's the sort of thing.
Yeah.
There is no way that would have.
He used that in court.
Yeah,
he literally said that in court.
Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch cock.
Yeah,
Terry Bollea does not.
Yes. I
think I might have said
not
that
guilty.
on the last podcast.
Not guilty. What
is it about me and Hulk Hogan's pingus?
Omer Ibrahim on the Crazy Train has a 10-foot penis. Omer Ibrahim off the Crazy Train does not. I'm surprised you're not here more often.
Lack of blood.
Yeah.
Once you expose that the Big Boss Man isn't really,
his name's Ray something, isn't it?
Ray
Trailer.
That's
Trailer.
it,
That's the one. Thank you.
Really close friends with Chris Benoit, apparently. That was one of Chris Benoit's dives into, not to get the depressed strike out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, once you explain that, then you're like, okay, so he's not really. Oh, so what else isn't? So that time I saw that kick not quite connected, and I thought maybe he caught him in the nose. Is that fake? And that's why, like, with who's the little dude that's with Bobby Lashley at the minute?
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Yeah. When he took that powerbomb off a ladder through a table in the Indies just before he signed to WWE, it was like a goodbye to the Indies.
Yeah.
He took a powerbomb off the ladder through a table. The table may have even been on fire or had something on it, and he just popped up to his feet and no-sold it. And I was like, yeah, what spot? Like, no, because now everything else, and it is. I think it was Jim Cornette. I heard that. I was listening to him on the way here, and he said something. He was talking about how he'd taken finishes. He'd taken the Undertaker's tombstone. He'd been chopped by Ric Flair. Yeah, and I think it was Dr. Death. He'd never taken the Oklahoma Stampede.
Okay,
and he said it was because we were always in companies together. If he'd ever given a non-wrestler that move and he wasn't in the hospital for a year...
Yeah, he had to... That was like... It was wrong.
Yeah. How can a trained professional just get pinned by it? Yeah. If, a manager who's probably... if you were thinking about who you are as a wrestling manager, you've probably learned you're going to get hit sometimes. Yeah. Learn how to absorb that impact. Like a boxer, boxers train about getting hit as much as they do hitting.
Yes.
So you would learn to maybe, my opponents are going to hit... my tag team's opponent, so little things can expose everything. Yeah, and that's where we are. Yeah,
we're in a weird world.
We're in a weird spot. We're exposing it
almost too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It's fine to expose, but you can't.
But at the same time, what's weird is they're exposing more probably than they ever have, and yet there are still this portion of the fan base who don't realise they're getting fucking worked. I cannot get my head around it.
I'm going to say a couple words that are like. Indian YouTube commentators.
Okay.
You know exactly what I mean. I am hope, and it's always broken, right? So I'm not going to do the accents, it's not that bad, but it's like, I am hope Roman Reign come back, break Brock Lesnar in face with Superman punch. And I'm like, okay, well, you type better English than I do Indian.
That's sweet.
Like, so, I get it, but, like, they can't. Can you watch WWE if you're not a kid? Mm-hmm. Can you watch WWE? Forget Ring of Honor, forget all that. Can you watch WWE and think it's real?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Dude, I see... I tell you now, on a Tuesday morning, I see on Twitter, I see a percentage of tweets that are about the night before, and it's literally like, the best example is the Charlotte being inserted into the Becky Lynch match, and it's like Charlotte being inserted in. Everybody's like, "Oh, what an injustice," and all that stuff. And I'm just like,
I think that's different. I think there's two levels of that.
Okay.
Right? People at the minute believe that the WWE that Vince, that the corporate machine doesn't want. It doesn't want Becky to be good because they didn't make her. Right? They want Charlotte Flair for the pot. Now, however true that is, we don't know.
No, and also let's be fair.
That's one level of
if they let. But this is the thing, right? So, tell you what, finish what you're saying.
But so the storyline is that the corporate machine is holding Becky back, right? Like they did Austin, like they did. Actually, one of the Bellas, if you look that up, and nobody will enjoy that because they did exactly the same storyline.
Yeah.
Like they tried to with Roman with all the non-corporate champions, right? And then they have their corporate champion, Daniel Bryan, all of this, right? Yeah. So the fans are supposed to believe because it's like working the work.
Yeah.
Like you know it's not real. So, but it's still you kind of believe it's real once they get to the match.
Yeah.
Like I always say with boxing, everything up to the first punch is fake. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time in boxing and UFC, the matches are a little bit rigged, but. All of the working. Look at Conor McGregor.
Great example.
What a worker.
Oh, yeah.
And then when the punches start throwing, I think he's a legitimate athlete.
Yeah.
Right? But everything up to that first punch is a work.
My favourite quote about boxing is, I think it's Tyson that basically said, you can have all the plans you want until you get punched in the face. It's true. Because I tell you now...
I think it's a play on the quote of something, all the best laid battle plans fall apart on contact with the enemy.
That's it. It's a play on that. Yeah. So, because somebody put... I was in a presentation the other day and they went through all the different evolutions of that phrase all the way down to Tyson. It's like, so well good until you get punched in the face.
Great impression. So they're presenting the
tell you what, I wouldn't tell him.
They're presenting, say it's Tiger on
He's fucking insane.
The one podcast he listens to.
Well, let me catch up with my podcast. I got to talk to Joe Rogan because I love that guy. I've been on this show, and they got a new crazy fan.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Oh, so
you cannot do an impression of somebody with a speech impediment.
Heats off me. It would be amazing if he just dropped it for the impression. But what the fuck?
Yeah, I think you'll find I speak perfectly quomulantly.
But yes,
so WWE is presenting this storyline that Becky is. She's the people. We don't want her to be the people's fan because they're playing on what people actually think is happening.
Yeah,
which probably was happening until they realised there was so much of a wave of support. So they're going to push her, but they're going to do a storyline where it looks like they're not pushing her.
Yeah.
So there's the double level of kayfabe. I think there's that level of kayfabe where you know what's going on backstage and you think you know what they're doing backstage is what they're doing. In front of you. But there's the other level of kayfabe where that kick is not real.
Yeah.
That's the bit that we don't know what's going on backstage and how it affects, when apparently, Dean Ambrose keeps coming up, but he did a promo that was supposed to be like a big inspiring thing to Seth and he just said, slay the beast.
Yeah.
Was that meant to? We don't know.
No.
We won't know because it's like the Paul Heyman could Undertaker have stopped Brock beating him? What a wonderful story. Like,
I love that.
We don't know if that's ever going to be. One day we might find out when the three of them agree on what to tell us.
It'd be amazing if he'd just gone to that story. What if Brock Lesnar decided to go into business for himself? Also, does anyone have money to lend me for the drive home?
I am still Van Dam $25.
I am still Paul Heyman.
But then there's the other level of kayfabe where the Superman punch doesn't connect with the jaw.
Yeah,
right. That's not real.
No.
Yeah.
But people believe that. That's the bit. I get that people think Becky's being held back. I love that they get that.
Yeah.
Because that's a double work, and that's what wrestlers now can live off. Right? Yeah. They know that when you come to the ring, you probably didn't hit your finisher, and you probably didn't drop him on his neck like that, and you probably didn't hurt him. But they don't know that all the gimmick, all the money and all that isn't real. And that's the bit I always see. If you can hold that bit, like when I used to put on Turkish accent and do this, I didn't drop that until I was out of the building because I want them to believe something about it. If they find out the whole thing is a fake,
it destroyed
they
me.
destroyed it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was in game, and I was
you had a legit experience with it,
the next day after, it was after one of the tap shows, and I was working in game at the time. Right? We had this Xbox on the shop floor that was used for demos, and you and a couple of other guys, and I don't know, it might have been Zach and somebody else.
No, I don't think we were wrestlers. I think we were just a couple of mates.
Oh, okay, just a couple of friends. All right, but
they're not important.
Clearly, right? Because otherwise he'd just be like, oh yeah, no, I wrestled him once.
It was Jimmy Snooker.
That explains a lot. Because he was really into that GTA. Well, you know.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. I just straddle that balance.
Allegedly.
Allegedly bullshit. So your game had an Xbox, and you and a couple of friends were there playing it. And I was just walking around the shop floor because when it was quiet, that was what you do, just kind of make sure everybody had everything they needed. Yeah. And I realised that I'd seen him at the Tap Show the night before, and I don't know if I just caught you off guard or something. Or whether it was just that, like you say, the kayfabe stops out when you hit the door and no further, and it just kind of switches off. Because I was just like, how you doing, guys? You okay? Everything you need? You need any help at all? And they were like, no, we're all good, thanks. And I said, okay, cool. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, by the way, I really enjoyed your match last night. You just went, oh, thanks very much. Thank you, friend.
You'll know this. We're not Seth Rollins. We're not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
So I said I'm not Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? I said I'm not Stone
Bastard.
You stand there. What? Have you tried a new mattress? Sorry, I'm just doing a podcast with his wrestling.
Welcome to World of Warships. That was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. Is hearing Stone Cold Steve Austin do a fucking podcast and just be like, do you need a website, you son of a bitch?
He's talking about breaking kayfabe, hearing him talking about his sleep apnea machine. It was the first episode of the podcast I listened to in full, and he was talking about his new sleep apnea, not as a plug, just like how it got, and I was like, oh shit.
Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't sleep.
I also know, because my father-in-law has one, and he used to have a full beard, but he shaved it down to a goatee because it fits inside the sleep apnea mask. So Stone Cold's is perfect.
Yeah, nice. Or Chili McFreeze, as he could have been one day. Yeah. Ice Dagger.
It's going there are people that think the Superman punch connects.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Michael Cole seems to be fucking convinced.
Well, that's true.
Superman punch connects. Yeah, when I first started watching pay-per-views obviously I watched them as kids, but we used to watch them on VHS after the fact and things like that. But we went through a period like in the early 2000s of started doing them live with friends and stuff, and like Manny, who's everybody here knows, and I'm sure many people listening know of. He and I used to just go round to one of the other's house and watch the pay-per-views live and then we'd go to work the next day because the job didn't really matter. In the grand scheme, there were jobs you could do tired, so it didn't really matter that much. Enough. And I've forgotten how I got here.
Well, you live here.
Crazy, yeah.
If you want to stand outside in the corridor for 5 minutes,
no, I'm good.
Finish this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think we covered that on the air.
We were talking about being spotted.
Being spotted,
yeah. Like, you don't expect it. So when somebody... We just meandered through two conversations.
That's really strange.
When somebody spots you outside, because you can instantly be you and maybe you just don't talk as cocky shit. Yeah. I had to throw on a voice. Yeah. And I never expected to have to do that elsewhere. It was, I think Brad's now wife, but then girlfriend Charlie, she had exactly the same thing at a show at the post office. You would have been there. The one at the post office. Where I think I went back to theirs for some lunch or whatever afterwards.
And you talked in your normal voice.
I talked in my normal voice, and she was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I saw it on her face, and I didn't realise I was that good at keeping it because I remember talking to referees in my normal voice.
Yeah.
So I'd be down and I'd be like, "Tell them to move." And I just talk in my English voice.
Yeah.
So apparently I was switching it on and off, but I had really good control of it. I never remember. I think you've probably heard me talk to you in the ring.
Definitely.
And I've not got the accent. I don't know, you've never wrestled me as a Turk, though, have you?
No. Oh.
With the accent on. Because that would mean we were both heels, and I don't think...
No.
We've probably been on shows together that way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I don't think I've ever had to do the accent right. Because I don't do it when, if I wrestle on the Isle of Sheppey, everybody there knows me as the dude in Sheerness in the bike shop. There's no point. No point.
He's Turkish.
I did it once just to see it would go over, and I was thinking they'd be like, "What are you doing?" And they just looked at me like, But then I think I could have just
They gave you the Tim Allen home improvement noise.
I could have just been reciting basic arithmetic and they'd have given me
Fair.
Don't fuck your cousins.
I absolutely love working on the Isle of Sheppey because it's like, hey Sheppey, give me 6.
You do all the camp shows. It was so much fun.
I love it. So much fun.
The Iron Turk came about in camp shows.
Amazing.
Like the way I do him. Because there's so much. But then again, the thing is, you're not... you're not really getting islanders at camp shows. They tend to have, like, some are, a lot are, but they tend to have come down from London and stuff like that. So actually you're getting a little bit of a melting pot, which is really good fun.
The closest I ever got to, they call it like white hot heat. The closest I ever got was at one particular camp. I can't remember the name of the holiday camp. And I was thinking, right, I want to try being not comedy Dow Jones. I want to be serious. So I didn't even wear tassels. That's how extreme this was.
Fucking hell.
I know, like, oh my God.
Did anybody die?
And so I got the microphone, and then I thought, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say this. So I was like, right, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't care that you broke your elbow. Nobody else know that one. That would get like 2 people to pop my head.
That's a great reference. And I was going, now, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that you holiday here makes me sad. I mean, and I'm looking at certain kids going, your friends are at Disneyland and you're here on the Isle of Sheppey.
Nice.
Your parents are failures.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Wow. And that's the first time it's been spelled out for them like that.
That's when they realised.
And it's
all the work.
There was a few people there going, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it going, oh yeah, and this is
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because you probably hit a nerve.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a low-income area.
Yeah.
So you probably did hit, I can't afford to take my kid anywhere else.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm here to escape that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know.
Probably came really close to crossing the line.
Yeah, and this is a very good point, because when I do the stuff, it's very comedy-centric, because this day changed my opinion, because I remember once going to one show in Gillingham, and I can't remember why I did
sympathies.
it. Well, yeah, I know.
I went to a show in Gillingham, I can't remember why I did it.
I can't remember why I
It wasn't
did
about getting paid, I think I know you were working.
Was it something to do with early 2000 wrestling pay-per-views? Because I'm still trying to work out how I was getting where I was going. Much like any crazy train, I've gone off the rails mentally. And
I still to this day feel awful, because there was this one kid in the front row going, like, loving it, booing everything, all the kind of
right
good
into
stuff.
into everything they need to be.
And
Did you just lean out and go, it's fake?
well, this
None of your dreams will be realised.
There's nothing good about who you are or what you do.
And I remember hearing it wasn't yourself, but it was someone similar to yourself going, what you need to do is you need to pick on one person and it'll create a bit of a ripple effect. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, I'll do that.
That was advice I was given early on to try to get heat. Yeah.
So it might be you.
It might be me that passed it on to you.
But I executed it very poorly. Let's just clarify now, because I got to the kid, and the kid had, like, let's be honest, funny teeth. That's how I'm going to word it.
Right.
Honestly.
I thought you'd say a full beard.
Full beard.
Yeah.
And
Great big bushy beard.
I don't know why, but I just leant over the ring and was like, nice teeth. Oof. And I remember walking away thinking, no, this is
too much.
Yeah. And I mean, that kid, and you said it there, went to escape life.
Yeah.
And the kid might have been bullied for that.
Yeah.
And it's why now I think, right, I need to say generic things that aren't too close to the mark. My job, or the way I phrase it, is I am just a pantomime villain. I am there for people to go, boo, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, that kind of thing.
Basically, so late 2000s Cena.
Yeah.
You get them angry, not upset.
Yes.
Nobody pays to be upset.
No.
Yes, that's the line.
Unless you watch Marley and Me.
Or opera.
Yeah.
4 fucking hours.
Like, there are certainly times.
I could have watched Star Wars twice. 2 different films.
We'll always call people Four Eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Four Eyes is fine. They wear glasses. It's not. It's a bit of a passe. But you don't call them
it's
fat.
fine, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly.
say fatty. Like Stimulate's one is always you old trout.
You old trout.
You old trout.
Trout.
Calls them trouts. Calls one ladies because it's like you old hag. Like it's not.
It's like Viz magazine.
Yeah,
sort of
it's
level of
very
humour,
generic,
isn't it?
but
It's not.
also specific enough.
Yeah.
That you're picking up because she probably knows. He's probably picking on a mid-40s mum who's brought the kids. And on the holiday camps, she's not going to be a supermodel. And if he picked on a supermodel and called her an old trout, it's going to be even better.
That's
very
Because
true.
when you, as a heel, if you lie, like it was Mick Foley's one about heel always has to feel vindicated.
Yeah.
You turn on someone because you did do something to me.
Yeah.
Or the crowd are booing me for illegitimate reasons. That's how you get a crowd angry. It's like, that was when I did the Turkish thing, and I'd kind of veer on the terrorist stuff.
Yeah.
I'd always be like, you're booing me because you're racist. I haven't done anything. All I did was wave a flag.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no. Oh, he's right.
Yeah.
But I'm not there for long enough for them to have an intellectual debate with me.
No.
I'm there for 10 minutes having a match.
And also,
so
to
they
be
don't
fair,
have time.
that alienates a lot of the room as well. Because if you're engaging with 2 people, like even in good faith, everybody else is like, where the fuck do we? What do we do?
They don't have time to reason it.
No.
They just have time to get angry and get defensive. Because the first thing you do when I say, you did that thing to me and it upset me.
I mean, the first thing you said to me was you're a racist. We ain't going to do that because you lose. We ain't playing that game, sunshine. You will lose.
People get defensive before they get explanation, like before they start to understand.
No, I don't.
There you go.
You're just saying that. Yeah, you're just saying that because
right now, brother, I could be cutting the best promo ever and nobody would know.
It's true.
brother. I need to tell you the worst encounter I've had with a fan. I need to tell you the story.
This is as much your forum as anything else. Like this is the reason you are here.
Oh, that's very kind.
You are here to kind of join in.
I mean,
you know?
I think
is that what I'm meant to do?
Fucking hell, let's do it.
Jesus,
Go back to bed.
So I think that's brilliant. I can't think how long into my career I was.
Okay.
But let's say 3, maybe 4 years into
All right.
it. But I'll word it this way: after wrestling Omar, that's the level of career I was. That's important for a bit later.
It's not much of okay.
No, that is
because that's not much of a benchmark, but I appreciate the timeline.
I'm going to tell stories
I know
about
Jimmy Snooker.
No.
Did you know I wrestled Jimmy Snooker?
Not that he likes to bang on about it or anything. Yeah, it's been ages.
Story now.
I'm still alive.
That's a proud achievement. Not a lot
Sucks
of
to be
people
you, Snooker.
Yeah, more people are dead than are alive right now.
Fair.
Some of them met Jimmy Snooker. I'm not saying there's a correlation
Some of them
between
did.
Jimmy Snooker and dead people.
Yeah.
But there is.
I do. In a way, I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's pretty overwhelming, but at the same time, it's like he's not here, right, to defend himself. If he was Mike 5, first of all, I'd be fucking gobsmacked, and second of all, I would be. That would be. It feels, it somehow feels wrong. It's like in a way, it's like the Michael Jackson documentary. It's like he's not here to defend himself. I don't think he'd get very far anyway, but there are
That's because he's always walking backwards.
That's true. Yeah, he walks everything back. But yeah.
Anyway,
my terrible story.
Yeah, go for it. After wrestling me.
So yeah, this would have been a couple of months after, or however long.
Yeah,
I was in Luton.
Okay,
so not Chatham Luton, but proper Luton.
Does the story end there?
I
not in the back of a van.
I mean, I've just realised the mistake I'm making telling this story because it's going to make me sound horrific.
Okay,
but let's go for it.
I will say some racial slurs afterwards. Just about
So
I have to ask. Do you know where you are? Because I think you're safe. You're in the safe. You're in the safe place. You're in the safe place. Yeah, he did try and beat the shit out of some children. No, wait. Tell a lie. He didn't try. He said, best case scenario, I'm not mental.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
The only person who would fight a bunch of 12-year-olds is either mental or thinks they can win. There's no good answer there.
Little bit of both.
Little from column A.
Secretly shitting myself on the inside.
Yeah.
Still don't know how that worked.
No, that's not science. It's not medicine. It's weird, man.
Anyway, tell us how shit you are.
Yeah, so tell us you're a horrific man and tell us why.
So in Luton and one of the opening matches or whatever, I'm out there wrestling a guy. Never really wrestled this guy before.
Okay.
Doing the match, fine. And I remember a piece of feedback that I got was, you don't look threatening enough, because I do a lot of the comedy. So there's a lot of me like shouting at the crowd like, yeah, shut up, yeah, I've got loads of money, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, well, actually, you don't look threatening enough. Alex, you're 6'2", you could be threatening. So I took that feedback on board and I thought, right, there's a kid in the front row.
I've got a bag of coins. Launch.
Yeah.
Stack of dimes.
And thinking back to what we said earlier, pick on one person creates a ripple effect. So this one kid was really into like booing me all the way through. So normally I'd lean over the rope and be like, shut your face or whatever. But this time I thought, if I leant through the ropes, I'm going to be a little bit closer. And if I be a little bit louder, this should get a reaction.
And you just went, shut up, you cunt.
He wasn't Luton.
To quote Leonard Nimoy there.
I wish I said that. And I think
I wish he did.
He's not here to defend himself.
No, that's true.
And whatever loud noise I made, like, shut your face, it was so loud that the kid fell out of his chair.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, I made the kid fall out of his chair. Yeah, good. Anyway, I go back to the guy and to destroy all of kayfabe and all of wrestling.
Yep.
I'm opening myself up for the guy to hit me, and the guy's not doing it.
Right.
Like, okay.
Oh, fucking...
Right, so I'm going, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, headlock. And I'm like...
And you look so fucking stupid because now you're throwing a punch from 8 foot behind you. So
yeah. So I'm like...
Here I come with a double axe handle. Please don't kick me in the gut. Please kick me in the gut.
That's exactly it. So I'm going over and the guy's not doing anything, and I was like, fight back, like fight back. So my usual thing is like shout something at the crowd, like yeah, and then go fight back, and the guy nothing. I was going, what's going on? And he then sort of wriggled out of the move, looked up and went, I don't think you know what you've done.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I sort of like did a move and then turned around. I was like, yeah, I'm the greatest man. And then I looked and went, oh, jeez. Because the kid's still on the floor.
Oh, shit.
And there's two people helping him up.
Oh,
and I went, oh, no, what's happened? Did he hit his head? What's going on? And I'm looking around, silence.
Wow.
Not even like the good kind of silence, like, oh, Jesus, I can't believe what we've just seen. I then look up and then see a wheelchair.
Right.
And I was like, they've moved him from the back of the audience to the front.
Right.
Lovely. So I've now made the disabled boy fall out of his chair.
Right.
And then whole crowd silence.
Yeah.
But a great Jim Cornette quote from earlier that Omar said, don't let the audience know if something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Because you expose everything. So I'm then thinking, make it look like I planned it.
Right.
So I was then like, I'm going to get the microphone. This is where it gets really bad.
It's good. I'm a little bit hard.
Is that what that is?
So I got the microphone.
Where's the shovel? I'm going to keep digging.
Yeah, exactly. Trips, have you got a shovel? So I get the microphone.
That take fucking ages.
I was thinking, right, how do I get this back? How do I get this back? And I don't know where this came from. I do not know where I got this.
Hell, I think.
Similar.
Yeah, the deepest, darkest recesses of the ill-advised realm.
So I'll paraphrase because I can't exactly remember what it said. But
I bet you can. I think what you realised is I can't use that word.
I can't use this here. And it was something along the lines of like, how dare you people have the audacity to boo me, Dow Jones? No one's making any noise.
Yeah.
But like, how dare you boo me? I haven't done anything that you wouldn't love to do yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Silence still. And you can see some people sort of sitting up going, the hell is he saying?
Yeah.
And I went, so next time you go to Tesco and you have to park at the back of the car park
fucking hell.
because people like them have taken the best spaces.
God,
Jesus
Christ.
of me. And
Jesus Christ.
But what was amazing was that three blokes got up and was like, yes, mate. Yes. And then I was
Amazing.
like, yeah. And then as I went, yeah, the guy I was wrestling took that as the cue, rolled me up, quick count 1, 2, 3. Lovely.
Yeah.
Now, there is a happy ending to this story. So that all happened.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Outrageous stuff. And I was going, oh my God, oh my God. So I go backstage and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And what was brilliant was someone I know, I won't say them, they were like, Alex, that was awesome. That was amazing. You need to do that more.
They didn't realise it was like...
Yeah. And then so I thought, I need to apologise. I need to apologise.
Yeah, that's something you can apologise to privately without ruining everything.
Yeah.
So the show's packing away, all that kind of stuff, and I find the carer.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise that all happened.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do? And the guy was obviously angry. Like, get out of my face. I was like, no, you don't understand. And then he stopped me and went, no, I don't think you understand. My boy thinks it's real.
Yeah.
And then paused, and he went, get out of my face.
Right.
And everything's okay.
Yeah.
And then as I thought about it, I was like, of course. The kid thinks it's real.
Yeah.
He was the distraction to the bad guy and cost him the match.
Right.
You couldn't
okay.
blame that shit.
Yeah.
You
Right?
couldn't.
And then what made it even better, I went back to the same venue about 2 months later. For
And they put him over for the title.
yeah. And
He was a
That's
manager.
how Zach Gow.
He was a manager. Like by the time he got so many roll-ups in that last 2 months, he was basically he was on the Pro Wrestling 100.
That's right.
Whatever it's called. I don't know.
PWI.
Thank you.
That's the one. And the kid was sat in the front row, same seat, and he'd even made a sign saying "Remember me?" ? And I remember when I walked past, sort of nearly crying, going, "Yes, I love this. You changed everything."
I just like the idea that you, like, in his mind, he's like, remember me? I cost you the match, and in your mind, it's like, you almost cost me my fucking career.
So, I said I'd do one that could defend that. You didn't do anything to make that kid fall over other than shout at him and start him. I can name two big: Zack Sabre Jr. and Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
Wrestling in Sittingbourne.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Zach's on the outside, Johnny does his through the ropes dive.
Right.
Zach doesn't bump straight because there's not enough room to, so he falls back into the crowd. His elbow cracks about a 9-year-old kid in the face, busts his nose flat to his cheek, blood everywhere.
Yeah.
So shouting at a child and knocking him over, not as bad as jumping. Because Zach takes it to the chest and goes
throws
back
him out.
with
Yeah.
elbows. And instead he's trying to like throw himself into the crowd rather than at the crowd. Just catches this kid in the face. Blood everywhere. And again, Gargano, who was kind of working heel, but only because Zach was from down the road, he was still not quite as experienced as he is
He's
now.
like hometown hero.
Even
it doesn't matter. Like trying to think of a good example, like, you know, Brett versus Sean in Montreal. Like, it doesn't matter if Brett's meant to be the heel.
Al Snow working heel whenever he goes to somewhere, and, you know, Al it's easier for him. He always says it's easier for him to tour and come out with a head, and everybody loves him. But he can be an obnoxious veteran prick as well. And I guess that's what Gargano was doing. He kept doing, you know, his lawn dart into the second row. Kept doing it.
Right.
Did it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
So that got like. Yeah. But yeah, cracked a kid straight in the face.
How many kids did Zack Sabre Jr. write off?
I never.
Oh God, why does this keep happening? It's just like, stop the fucking spot. You're on about 8 kids.
I know I made plenty of kids cry. I don't know if I've ever like hurt one. I was wrestling. I was in the Tap and Tin. I won't incriminate. No, I can incriminate who it was because this one's fun. I was wrestling Devilman.
Right.
We can say what we want.
Yeah, I know the guy. Yeah.
And we were. No. I've got this wrong around. It wasn't Devil. It was
Devilman was wrestling you.
Yeah.
I'm not trapped in with you.
I was. So there were 2 times. I was wrestling 2 different guys, and the same thing happened. They were hitting me with objects. One, I think they were both baking trays,
right? And
they slipped out of their hands and flew into the crowd. And I often think, like, is my head slippery or something? Yeah. But one time it went nowhere, and the other one, I can't remember who was who. It hit someone in the face and smashed his eyebrow. You know the Harley race eyebrow split? You know the punch above the eyebrow and it makes the eyebrow split open? It did that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was, luckily, it was Mikey T, who was a trainee / wrestler. It was his younger brother.
Right.
It's the only reason we never got sued.
Yeah.
We did almost kill a puppy once. Did I ever?
No, and I want to hear more. I want to subscribe to this particular newsletter.
So this is the Tap and Tin in Chatham, right? And those doors were, so we used to do some like ultra-violent shows, not CZW level of
blood was involved, weapons were involved. Yeah, I saw a couple of those shows. Yeah,
you know, maybe glass. We didn't use too much glass because the
tables,
crowd were too close. Tables,
flaming tables. Yeah, flaming glass.
I was always quite impressed that we got those reactions using like sand.
Well, if you get flaming glass, that happens.
We always used these. We got fucking hell.
Flawless victory.
Science, bitch.
We would get the reactions that Tournament of Death got by using basic weapons.
Yeah.
Right, we wouldn't be flaying each other out.
Sand.
Anyway, so they had...
Get down there, learn the sensor and stock up.
I think it was a triple threat. I think it was Corrupt.
Oh, God.
John Ryan and Jimmy Havoc in a
I think I saw that match, yeah.
And
it would be the other way around, by the way. Flaming sand would create glass.
There was a table,
I just can't let it sit there.
There was a table on the outside covered in pins.
Yes.
Right? And the spot originally, I think, was that John Ryan was going to awesome bomb Jimmy Havoc over the top rope.
Of course he was.
Into it.
Of course.
But we watched so much footage of Tanaka landing on his skull that in the ring, Jimmy called, no, just press me through it. So he just gorilla pressed him, right? So that's the spot. So I wrestled earlier in the night.
Yep.
And it was always a thing I used to like, because I was like, I wasn't a face, I wasn't a good guy, but the crowd used to like me because while I could be serious, my stuff was funny.
You're like an anti-heel.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I would always, in matches like that, when we had fire or whatever, I would be the guy stood by the curtain with the fire extinguisher just behind the curtain. Yeah. Or I would be the guy making sure the crowd stayed back, because I had that presence of, I've just had a fight, you're going to have to respect the ability for me to push you around as a member of the crowd.
Brad's wife, who I've never seen so fucking gobby as when she's in a wrestling crowd. Like, I swear she's almost got in fights before.
Oh yeah, totally.
There's something about her. She's really like mild mannered normally, and then in a wrestling crowd, there's something that just this red mist descends.
Yeah,
and she just gets so abusive.
Maybe it's the same mist that allows her to clap off beat at gigs.
No, that makes me get the red.
That's what it is. She's actually trolling Blake. That's completely deliberate, and we've all thought about it.
I had a kid once wish me cancer.
Oh wow!
Jesus. Yeah, I was like, I hope you die of cancer.
I've been wished death, but never of. Never that specific. No,
I was well impressed by it. Anyway, sorry.
And the kids just like, I was one of the really aggressive ones.
So. I know how we've done a spot like this before. So I'm on the outside. I'm crowd barrier, and John's got Jim over his head. He's got Jimmy Havoc over his head, and he's about to press him, and he makes eye contact with me as a basic, like, is the crowd out of the way?
Yeah.
Right? And I look at Jim, and at John, and I nod, and he goes for the throw, and I look, I'm stood in front of the table, so if he overthrows the table, he's landing on me. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. That was how I did it. The crowd can see over me, I'm short. And just under my right arm, like runs by my hip, is a puppy.
Oh no!
How the fuck does that happen?
It runs through the crowd.
Are we at the Tap and Tin?
We're at the Tap and Tin, so you know where the ring was set up at the back wall.
Yeah.
It has run all the way through the crowd. I later found out it had run off the lead. It was just walking. It was a little Staffordshire Bull Terrier puppy, right? Heard all the noise and just run through the crowd.
Yeah.
It runs under the pin-covered table.
Oh, Jesus.
And John has imagine throwing a ball at the moment when it leaves your hand.
Then he realises.
He's there, and I went, "Stop, John! A puppy!" And to this day, this is how fucking professional that mad missing Mitchell brother is.
What a description!
This is how professional he is. He didn't question what I said. He didn't. You would go, "What?"
Yeah.
Right. He just stopped.
Wow.
He had already thrown Jim, and he just caught him by the jeans and the t-shirt and reverse pressed him back into the ring.
God. Wow.
All he knew was something bad was going to happen.
A puppy.
And then I shooed the puppy out and looked back at John and went, yeah, and he did the spot.
Yeah.
Right, through the table, through the pins, they go everywhere.
I love that. I'm amazed your career could even continue after that thing, because everybody in the audience just like, he's the one who's like this big hard heel. It's like, oh, puppy! No, you mustn't.
So that's.
You're
Can you imagine the newspaper the next day if we killed a puppy? Because we're already kind of running the line with what we should be able to get away with in those shows.
On the other hand, no such thing as bad PR. You could have made a stable
Big
out
Boss
of it.
Man killed a puppy.
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
Fed it to our snow.
This is it.
It's a very cyclical podcast today.
It is.
Wrestling
Yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about kayfabe. The thing that gets me is like people sort of they get involved, they get swept up in the gimmicks, right? Like you said, Becky Lynch is being held back by the company. I'm sure that's not it. I think what the reality is they just didn't really know what to do with her specifically.
Well, they didn't. She did that.
Yeah, she goes. I'll tell you what might work.
Happen.
Yeah, she might. I'll tell you what might
she
work.
didn't even. I don't think she even said.
Maybe she didn't vocalise it.
For like disclaimer, I know Becky.
Yeah.
I know her personally.
Yeah.
Not well, we wouldn't be best friends, but if we met, I'd like to think she'd still, how's so-and-so?
Yeah.
She's the type
That's
of
the
girl
puppy.
who wasn't being used properly and sat on her laurels a little bit and then went, no, fuck this.
You dropped that.
I dropped that, thanks. Yeah. No, fuck this isn't who I am. And the crowd got behind her and they never let her go. And then she got her attitude over.
Yeah.
And that Becky now is much more... Becky loves to talk about herself.
Right.
Number one, she will never deny that. Her favourite subject is Becky. And
all right.
so she pushed that forward.
Yeah.
A bit like how Zach, Internet Champion, Ryder pushed that thing. She did it on. It's just that Becky just managed to get the crowd behind her.
It's a good example in the same way, because he got himself over when he was probably maybe one of the people who might have been considered for release that year otherwise, because they were just not doing anything specific with him.
There's a really good Table for Three episode about that, actually, with him, Matt Hardy, somebody else that had their own. I think it was New Day.
Big E.
Big E.
No, you're the only one you haven't named. Xavier, because of Up, Up, Down, Down.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Internet stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, Becky just did that.
Yeah.
And they had no choice but to go with her.
Sure. But no, that's fine. I don't think it's so much that they don't have a choice. I think they recognise, this might make money.
There's money to make,
We
baby.
like money.
Vince is really fucking smart.
Yeah. You don't stay... You one, don't stay in business that long, and two, don't obliterate your competition over time without being smart. You just don't. It's like nobody can be that lucky for that long.
Exactly.
It just doesn't work that way.
One of my biggest pet peeves is people not giving the professional wrestling its due.
Yeah.
Actually, it's one of the greatest things on the planet. Obviously, I'm going to say that, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But I think the stat was...
I wouldn't say that about podcasts, though. There's a lot of shit.
But like, to use WrestleMania as a brand, I think there's a stat saying it's like the 6th most valuable brand.
It is, yeah.
And you go, right, so what's that under? Champions League. Wow, that's a big deal. World Cup, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
What's under it? The World Series, the FA Cup. I get it.
I think if the World Series, if they want it to be bigger, they should invite more than 3 countries.
That is very true. That is very true.
A World Series where it's USA, Canada, and Japan.
It's pretty worldwide.
Look at the WrestleMania crowd these days.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're into like
big money.
They're into it.
It's It's but I mean, just look at them physically. Look at the amount of them. You hear every WWE wrestler that debuts has their WrestleMania debut. They come out and they everyone apparently there'll always be someone backstage that says just pause.
Yeah.
When you step out there, look. It was I read an interview with Paige the other day. Said she didn't the first time and she'll always regret it.
Yeah.
You step out there on that stage and you look and you go, they're all watching me.
Yeah.
I get fucking thrilled when there's 20 people.
I get like I say, I get fucking gobsmacked when there's 13 downloads.
Exactly.
Whoa!
It's like on Instagram. I put out pictures of my models. The other day I got like 200 likes. I was like, Jesus Christ, this has taken off.
Yeah.
And then I went back to
Elbow
20s and 30s, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this many people just want to see this.
It's great, yeah.
So can you imagine having like 80-odd thousand?
Oh my God!
Just looking.
Can you imagine like how Daniel Bryan must feel? Like just 80,000 people just going yes.
Yeah, that's
and it's like
when
that's one fucking word. It couldn't be simpler, and yet he's made it.
Say
a
the
thing.
same thing when the crowd sing back your song.
Yeah.
So you imagine Metallica stood at Wembley. I've been there and heard them singing "Memory Remains,"
right?
And doing the chant at the end of it.
Yeah.
So but that's four guys on a stage with, we all have to think of bands as like this garage thing that Metallica's just four guys making. No, there's a massive fucking industry behind them.
Yeah, there is now.
But Daniel Bryan, does have that machine behind him, but it's still one man who started pointing his fingers in the air and saying yes, it was his idea. Becky's. She dropped that straight fire thing because it was shit. And
that might have been a factor.
The Man. She started calling herself the Man.
And she's gone for the kind of late 90s Stone Cold kind of
they're kind of pushing that way with a
unappreciated.
little bit of like a Kill Bill.
Yeah.
That kind of, I'm just here to do what I do.
I did find I'm sure we've all, maybe not Blake actually, because I know you don't necessarily watch as much of the wrestling, but I'm sure you guys have seen the clip from last night's Raw at the time of recording where Becky, Charlotte and Ronda are all fighting in the car park.
That's great.
It's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. I loved every second of it.
Absolutely.
But that's wrestling.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. But that's the thing. Like,
stupid as fuck.
The number of people...
You don't keep running.
Right.
No.
This is my big thing. Going back to a conversation we were saying about realism.
Yeah.
I remember wrestling a guy, again, I won't name him, and he was like, it needs to look real. Everything needs to look really real. And I said, okay, so when you send me into the ropes, I'm just going to grab onto them.
Yeah.
So you're going to leapfrog me. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
Is that really going to work?
My nads.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a line. I remember on my retirement match with John Ryan when he was like, everything you do to me tonight has to look real.
Right.
Because I hadn't been taken seriously in that venue and in front of that crowd. I had, but this was like, this is your last match, this is your test, show them what you are as you go out.
Yeah.
And he said, everything needs to, and I said, what do you think? Well, you're going to, at one point, a Bonzo dropped him out of the corner, right? If there's a real fight, you don't wait there for the other guy to drop his ass on you. But he said, sit on me.
Right.
When you land, sit on me. When you give me your knee in the corner, knee me in the side of the head. Don't give me what I always think, I'm one that preaches about it looking real, but not that like, it needs to look like Greco-Roman wrestling. No, when I hit you, you felt it, I hit you. You know I hit you, and I hit you hard, but I will always hit you safe.
Yes.
I'll club you in the shoulders because I won't give you lasting damage. It will sting like fuck.
I'll hit you with a safe, and that'll look real because they're fucking heavy.
Like chops. I've chopped you because I don't throw a lot of chops. I don't put a shitload of stink in my chops. I don't throw. That was a really weird butcher's sentence.
That is a weird.
I chop you just enough to get a noise because that's all you need.
Yeah.
Because all the Japanese dudes have been throwing the stiff ones. All the Benoits and all that have been throwing the stiff ones. The crowd appreciate that. All I need to do is a little, and I've got you.
Yeah.
Like the crowd appreciate a light chop now.
Yeah, well, also in a venue, it will still carry if it's light, if it's small enough.
Well, in a holiday
the
camp,
acoustics are good enough.
In a holiday camp, if I chop you hard enough to blister up your skin, it'll get the same reaction as it would get if I gave you a light one. Because a holiday camp doesn't care how hard I hit you unless something legitimate happens, like I knock you out by accident or something, then the crowd will care. But if I chop you, it's just a chop. Now, if I'm wrestling Ring of Honor, I'm going to fucking hit you. Yeah. Right? I'm going to sting you.
If you're wrestling all of Ring of Honor, you've got to hit them as hard as you possibly can.
Wrestling just the logo.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Come here, share portfolio, you son of a bitch.
The most important thing about wrestling is that it needs to be suited to where you are and what you're actually up to.
I like that.
It's knowing your audience, right?
And if you in your gimmick started throwing stiff chops and doing head drops, you'd look stupid. Because you're probably still going to get rolled up in a comedy finish. So why are you doing half and half suplexes? You should have killed him. If you didn't kill him, you're shit, or it's fake. And neither of those are a good opinion.
No, it's true.
The other day I was just thinking, what can I think about? Just thinking through some of your moves I was watching. I was like, how can I make that one look nasty? It was actually your swinging.
The swinging pendulum thing.
The pendulum that you do into the turnbuckle. I was like, how could that look nasty? I was like, doesn't need to. Because that move hurts, but not so much that they're going to tap, and you don't have it as a finish, so it doesn't. It
doesn't need to be.
One guy once he wanted to do his finisher was like a Taz mission, right? But he wanted a setup move for it, and I was like, you never really need maybe a small throw, like Samoa Joe sets up the Coquina clutch with stuff, right? And he wanted to use a butterfly jackhammer, and I was like, so you want to not use a pin? You go straight into a pin, and then you want to get up to let them stumble to their feet. That makes no sense. Have one or the other. Butterfly jackhammer is a great move. But have one or the other. And I was thinking about your pendulum move. So describing it, it's
I would say like a Boston crab, but facing the other way. So when they turn over, you face them on the ground, which then allows me to pick up their arms, thus being a pendulum. I can
swing between his legs.
I just think it's a funny looking move.
And then you can bonk their head into the turnbuckle. The thing is, unless you're fucking huge, like Brock Lesnar could probably swing you hard enough to hurt you. You can just bonk. And it's more like the stink face. You're embarrassing them. Which is what you do. Now, there's a way maybe you could bonk, 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 and then when you let go of it, you leave them on it and stamp the back of their head. If you were being a little bit more serious. But the move can't be improved. It is what it is. It's a funny move.
You could probably
look. I've got you
swing them up and then bring them down through all three turnbuckle pads. And then stamp on the back of the head.
The thing I like about that move is that you can just have fun with it. As you say, with a small audience, you can be like, doink, doink, like actually say it out loud. But what I like about that move is that when people are in the move, they go, bloody hell, you're strong.
No, you've got to have a hell of a lift because you're not squatting to pick them up.
No, there's no assistance.
You pick up with just your wrists.
And what I quite like, and again, Omar, this will hit you harder than anyone else, but like what I like is when you do comedy wrestling, people think that's all you can do. And what I enjoy is every so often I'll be put in a position where you have to do actual wrestling. And I mean, if I had to take this opportunity to thank people like Daryl Allen and those kind of guys that have helped me actually be, and obviously yourself, Omar, helping me get good at actual wrestling. One of my favourite things is when I'm on a show and then out of nowhere I do a very funky reversal and people just go, the hell? He can actually do this?
Balls Mahoney used to do that. Balls Mahoney used to have a couple of really good escapes from basic holds and then it would be Balls Can Wrestle. That's similar because you'll be seen... You are wrestling for the win, no matter how funny you are. I always think like Doink the Clown was a perfect example. Nobody took him seriously until he pinned him. That was what you want to do as a comedy wrestler. Your comedy is still just a way to win the match. That's where the real bit comes in.
The whole objective is to win the match for anybody.
And if you go out there to do anything other than look like you're trying to win the match, I don't care how you do it, you're doing it wrong. Because you're not wrestling. You could come out there and do some amazing maneuvers. Go and do that in the circus. If you're in a wrestling ring, do those amazing maneuvers with the look like you're trying to be. And I get when you're starting out, it's hard to make it look like you're not cooperating when you're doing those, like Will Ospreay and Ricochet, right? If you and I were physically capable to do those things and we started doing them, we still would look choreographed. It would take a long time. But then look at Tiger Mask and Dynamite. Looked like they were trying to rip each other apart as they were doing flips off the turnbuckle. Right? That's how you can still... And if you're using comedy... This is one of the first things I told you when we got talking. You're using comedy to win. I'm making you think I'm not a threat. And holy shit, I just picked up the winner's purse. Because this is how I feed my family. This is the real part. The win matters. And that's why I think some of the WWE guys lose it because they know that, or it seems like, even the ones who aren't getting paid well, seem like they have plenty of money. Why does Triple H want to win on SmackDown? Well, I mean, he's a good example. He comes out for special events because he doesn't need the money from his winner's purse.
No.
He needs to beat Batista at WrestleMania for these personal reasons. It means more to him.
He beat up my friend Ric Flair. And I like Ric Flair. He's a friend.
But then, a really good example.
This is not my best promo.
Watching some old Attitude Era stuff. Godfather would come to the ring and be like, I'm stinking rich. I'm going to pay you to come and have sex with these whores. And we're going to go and drink instead of us fight each other tonight because...
I don't want to fight.
I know I'm contracted to be here tonight and wrestling's fun and all, but I don't want to tonight. And sometimes they'd take him up, sometimes they wouldn't. If they didn't, he's like, well, I'm going to have to beat you up because I'm a giant man. Everybody forgets how big the Godfather really was.
He was a massive dude.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah,
He's not dead.
No, as in
He's a real
he
thing.
probably shrunk a bit now.
Probably. I don't know. He seems bigger. I see interviews with him. He looks bigger.
I've met him. He's huge.
Is he
I believe it.
Huge, yeah.
You forget he's like one of the giant. Like you get the guys like Kane, Undertaker, Big Show. Like he's up there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he was it Karma? They put him up against the Undertaker as a kind of. They tried to bill him as a legitimate threat to the Undertaker.
He was the ultimate
fighting machine.
Yeah. Kamu Mustafa, that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And,
Incidentally, would the Undertaker be able to make it work now, or would people be going, "Oh, he's a zombie"? That's daft.
See, now that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
He's the Madonna of wrestling.
Yeah,
he
that's a
models
good way.
himself because there's no way what he did then or what he did now would have worked when he was doing the biker gimmick.
No,
nobody would have got the ministry stuff. It would have been bullshit.
Yeah,
because everything was very real. Kurt Angle came in.
Yeah,
and Kurt Angle versus a dead man. Like, what's he going to do? He's not going to tap him out because he doesn't have any nerves in his ankles or whatever.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing when he tapped Kane. How good must he be as an Olympic wrestler to tap out this monster that feels no pain?
He ripped a door off its fucking hinges, and he's just like, "I'm a leg."
But I remember for a brief period getting really annoyed with the Undertaker's gimmick because I remember saying to a friend of mine, going, "Well, if he can make lightning come out of the ceiling, just do that in the match."
Absolutely.
I seem to.
Why does the Undertaker want the winner's purse?
Yeah,
he's dead. He's dead. Can't take it with you.
I know it was like, okay, so I'm a talent scout for the WWE, and I've just found this giant, scarred, burnt fella in a mask. Yeah, we've actually got his brother under contract. He burnt him and killed his family. Let's give them a license to fight.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I want to be a fly on the wall for those discussions. Where it's like,
you scout anybody else? I found this guy. He's an Olympic athlete. I think he's going to make a really good switch to professional wrestling. I think he could put on a little bit of a showbiz attitude. Yep. He's a bit nerdy, so maybe the crowd wouldn't get into that. But his name's Kurt Angle. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Yeah. Okay, fine.
I've got this burned guy. He seems to think the Undertaker's a cunt. And he hasn't explained why.
Because bringing the Undertaker in is one thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a time of crazy gimmicks, so you can understand Paul Bearer going, I want money. I found this unkillable man. Something like that.
I had a feeling that was coming. I thought it was going to be me who did it, but it's good to always rely on Blake.
I'm gonna bring this unkillable man, like Paul Heyman and Brock.
Yeah.
Brock looks like the thing that can't be beaten.
Yes.
Right? So I'm going to, be his advocate.
Love that movie.
So I'm the thing that can't be beaten.
I feel like it's an Ian Harbour production.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so bringing in the Undertaker is one thing. To bring in his dead brother... Like it doesn't make any. Can you imagine if UFC did this?
I would love the idea
this
as well.
This man is a reanimated corpse.
Yeah.
Let's have him fight. You and McGregor, fucking hell.
Hello there.
Can you set it up so in stereo they get you and me going hello there in a pair of
I can.
This is amazing.
I can. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. And what was more, I would have if it was all real, like real, it would have been fucking amazing to be on the Raw after Paul Bearer goes, "Your brother's alive," and then Undertaker just walks out back and goes, "Why the fuck did you hire him?"
Yeah, because Undertaker actually has one of my favourite hiring when he came back as the badass, and Undertaker's like, Vince the next night's like, I fired you. You don't get. And he goes, if you spoke to your old woman, you'd find she signed me to a fat contract. And Vince is like, oh fuck, which means you get to pay me a lot of money to kick your stinking ass right hand. Right? But can you imagine the other hand when he goes back to the guys and goes, now I understand how I get paid. Who brought the big red? I thought I killed that motherfucker. He thought he killed me. He's not. I don't know where I'm from, but I do not sound. I tell you, listen to me, boy. When Foghorn Leghorn goes wild on you, I'm the Undertaker. Rest in peace. It's chicken season.
You've done it now. You've gone and annoyed the giant chicken. And I say. There's so many discussions like that you would just be like, no, how does that work? Like, it's just,
Who would pay him? Why does Kane want money? What does he need?
Why is Saturn...
Be the mayor
Savlon?
No, he's trying to run...
He's trying to be the mayor successfully.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, he's a really normal... Of all the guys to pick, never had injuries.
Yep.
Never injured anyone.
No.
That's true.
Like, he's one of those like dependables. He's
I
been
think he
there
had
so long.
didn't he have one injury, which is when he shed all that weight and came back and started doing the comedy gimmicks?
Could be
Because he never had he didn't have a long history of like frequent injuries.
Yeah.
I think when he got injured, he tended to have a big one.
Getting slammed around your knees are going to start to fuck
Yeah,
around
totally.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
No,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I can, as somebody who doesn't get slammed around and 6'7", I can vouch that your knees are fucked anyway. Basically, just walking around with my big fat ass is enough to send my knees into oblivion.
I'm 5'8" and just fat.
Powder them into dust. Yeah, but there's so many meetings like that where you're just like, look, Saturn's taken the knock to the head. He's in love with a mob. We should probably send him home.
We should send him out with the mop.
Make him kiss.
Like, get back to the gimmick days, like from where you pulled your gimmick from, like IRS, right? That's what he did for a job, and he wanted to fight now.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people in different things where they go on stage, they use part of their real life stuff, whether it's to plug what they do for real life or not. Like, so I get that. Like, okay, I want a contract to fight for money. Okay, well, you used to be a binman. You can do stuff like that. So
shit like that. It's just
but that makes more sense.
I was a really good bin man, but now I want to kick some ass.
Now I want to take out the trash.
You can imagine that. Set it in a legitimate thing, right?
Exactly a quote.
You go to some underground wrestling show somewhere, and there's a guy fighting and he's really good and you want to sign him, right? But you got a TV show, you want to make it a bit, so okay, what do you do? Well, in part-time I'm a binman. Okay, well, could you wear that stuff because it'll make people relate to you? Okay, cool. But I'm still fighting, right? Yeah, I'm still fighting. You're still fighting for the winner's purse, right? But The Undertaker, nobody walks in, like, he wasn't found somewhere, and even if he was found,
Brother Love,
there, like, I'm going to get this unkillable monster.
It's Brother Love, right, to start with?
First, I'm going to get this unkillable monster to win these underground fights for me, and I'm going to take the winner's
Having
purse.
said that, actually,
so Vince McMahon fucking signs him and put him on television.
Yeah, so actually, it's even better than that because the $1 Million Man brought him in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, go and find me a person who always wins. And he's like, what about a corpse?
What the fuck? It's like the Hunchbacks.
Yeah.
Do you know the Hunchbacks? Hunchback wrestlers, they can never be pinned because both their shoulders can't touch the floor.
Oh,
They're
okay.
a legitimate tactic. Memphis, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Around the same time as the Ding Dongs.
Right.
The wrestlers just covered in bells.
And chocolate. Along with the ho-hos and the Pop-Tarts and other brands are available.
Yeah, like the Hunchbacks. Like, you can imagine if there was, like, if you found, like, a guy who was Hunchback. I'm not talking about, like, finding Quasimodo, but finding a guy with a Hunchback. Be like, oh, you could never be pinned. I could train you to be a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, a guy who couldn't get knocked out.
But surely
would be a really good boxer.
Surely the bells.
Fucking hell, wouldn't they ever? So, like, but a dead man.
But that'd be great.
I love The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But I like the modern Undertaker who's like, I've got this kind of cult thing about me. Like, maybe I can command lightning. Maybe it's more that I just make you think I do.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Smoke and mirrors.
A lot of the best like historical books I read, like there'll be a Viking Age book and they'll besiege the gods and then a lightning bolt hits and it happens and you're like, did you actually just besiege the gods and he made a lightning bolt, or are you like unconscious on the side of a ship and you think you saw Odin? Like that the modern Undertaker is like that. Like, did he just pay for all that pyro to scare his opponent? Because that would be...
To be fair, he's not spending the money on anything else. He's fucking dead. Incidentally, just as a little aside, I just happened to look around while you were telling that story, and I just saw Blake, and I've never seen him look more serene. He just had he was leant back with his eyes closed, like, yeah. I reckon you're like his Bob Ross. We're going to do a happy little anecdote here, and there's no wrong stories here, and you know you can just talk, and you know Susan, who lives down the street, who took this baby deer, and I tell you what, I would have just wished I could have adopted it, but you know I got this fucking enormous house, and apparently I can't. Whatever. Anyway,
that'll be our little Paul.
Shit. Anyway, I fucked it.
The UK doesn't have enough gimmicks. I know it's an unpopular opinion.
I agree.
Like, everybody's just a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Well, there was an age of that, wasn't there? It's like it was more about the proper wrestling,
but then, like,
rather than.
But within that, you can have a gimmick. Look at Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
he's a cool, funny guy. He cheats. You know, he's got this Mexican heritage, so he can draw the Mexican fan. That's a gimmick.
Yeah.
He doesn't just, and he was a great wrestler. He wasn't just a great wrestler.
Yeah.
He was a great wrestler with the Latino Heat stuff. He was a bit, when he was with China, he was that kind
Bit of a sleaze.
slick,
Yeah.
he was a cheater. I think you can be a good wrestler like War Raiders.
Yeah.
They've got that Viking gimmick going on. But they're just big dudes that kick the shit out of you. Are they really Vikings? No. Do they pretend? No. One of, I think both of them do...
CrossFit.
No. they do
eat vegan bagels.
Not reenactment where they just kick the shit out of each other with swords. Because he's married. One of is it Roe?
Oh, I don't know.
The not so beardy one is married to one of the members of the Riot Squad.
Oh, okay.
The Viking girl in that, the one that's all.
Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan. And they're like. I think they're straight edge as well, but their gimmick is like, they take the influence from, wearing the hammer of Thor around their neck, and that's cool because I love the big barbarian gimmicks and stuff like that. But they're still fighters at the end of the day, but then you've got even like Rey Mysterio. I'm a really flippy dude who's really good at it, and that's how I win. Right? I'm smaller than everyone. But then Ricochet, I'm never a fan of Ricochet because I'm like Rey Mysterio.
Sorry, because the only reason I started laughing in the background is because in my head I just said booyaka booyaka flippy dude.
Like he's got that's his gimmick. But Ricochet is just you're really athletic and you use it to wrestle.
Yeah. And he does some incredible stuff.
He's incredible.
Oh my god!
Fucking flip in front of.
Oh my god! Yeah, Dream. Yeah.
Yeah, where he just jumps from the fucking. He jumps from the fucking from the fucking ring to the floor in one move over the ropes and lands on his feet.
Face and goes. Dream said something like, "Anything you can do, I can do better."
Yeah.
So he jumps out of the ring, lands in front of him, looks up and goes, "Show me." It was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
it's a great piece of television.
Apparently, he on Raw last night he jumped the turnbuckles and just landed on the Revival.
Yeah,
and the crowd was just like, what the fuck?
S.A. Rios did that once to Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie Guerrero moved, and S.A. inverted himself and landed, like Kevin Owens' cannonball.
Yeah.
So imagine if you move, you end up upside down in the turnbuckle. He did that over the turnbuckles into a cannonball flip and landed in the corner of the outside area, upside down.
What?
And I remember watching it on fucking Heat.
Yeah.
Right, and going, oh, that looked painful. Years later, watching it going, fucking hell, S.A.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's got to kill you.
We're talking about gimmicks. Like when we do the local shows, what I enjoy is the promoter coming up to me going, when people are leaving, they're talking about the bloke in the top hat and tassels.
Yeah.
And you go, I've had 14 people on the show. They're all very good wrestlers, but it is a dude wrestling.
Yeah.
But they remember the bloke in the top hat and tassels.
Yeah, because
You know what that means, right?
the character.
It means you get asked back.
Exactly.
Words from, I've heard the Manellis talking about the next show they're going to put in. The Manellis, they're local show promoters. They run camps in the Isle of Sheppey and the surrounding area.
I know the name.
And they'll have like a good wrestler.
You probably dropped it once.
Yeah, probably. And they'll have somebody and they'll go, yeah, but nobody ever asks for him.
Right.
And on those camp shows, you'll have 4 wrestlers sometimes.
Yeah.
And they will invite people back because the crowd are going, oh, that Dow Jones guy was really annoying or he was really good. They ask to see the wrestlers because you're getting 4 wrestlers. There's not a lot of money. No. They're not getting paid a lot of money to be there. The wrestlers not getting paid a lot of that cut. So every penny counts. So why bring someone, I hope that Dow Jones is back next time.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask for someone they don't want back.
Yeah.
So it's like booking a band to do their favourite songs. You want to see those wrestlers again.
Can we get that generic-looking angry dude?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Which one?
There are some fantastically talented guys that I've wrestled on the indie on the camp shows. Never get wanted back because
they just don't stand out.
No, because they're a good. They might be a good white meat babyface.
Yeah. But then
usually it is the babyface.
But they're almost like, in a way, they're kind of digging their own grave because they're forgettable.
Do something. A lot of the best have 2 gimmicks.
Yeah.
They'll go on Progress or something like that, and they're some kind of martial artist killer, and then they go there and they've got a fucking bin on their head or whatever because it makes them stand out. I'm thinking of Marcus.
Marcus Broom. Great guy
who does the Trash Man gimmick. He's in like a fluorescent singlet with a broom.
One of my favourites.
Hand bombers, and then I've never even met him. I've never met the guy. Never met the guy. But then he'll go to like more serious, and he does more like a kind of East End.
He does Charlie. I can't think what it is.
Yeah, but it's like because he's covered in tattoos.
From Willy Wonka, just grown up. All my grandparents died and shit got us out.
If you kind of get the idea that if he doesn't pin you, he might shank you later.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what I mean? Like
people lay down just out of fear.
He's another good guy with the guy. I can't think of many UK guys with good gimmicks, which is why people like Volta stand out.
Yeah.
Well, he's Austrian, but he's just a big fucker.
Yeah.
Who chops
and he
people.
doesn't. He's not built. He doesn't do great moves. He does what he does very well.
Yeah.
And he can do more. Dave Mastiff, I'm a massive fan of Dave Mastiff. His gimmick is just he's big, but he's naturally blessed. But that guy can do a split-legged moonsault off the top rope. He can do a shooting star. Doesn't do him because he doesn't need to.
No.
Because he does a German suplex. And that gets over, because his gimmick is look at the size of him.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar obviously used to do a shooting star press in OVW. I know when he pulled it out in WWE, it didn't go down so well.
Yeah,
he went down really well.
But we're still talking about it now.
Sure, absolutely. Bork Laser.
Bork Laser.
Yeah, this is it. But he used to do that in OVW, and he saved it for a marquee moment. He didn't just do it on every. Because much as I love Jeff Hardy, he does such crazy shit every show. You're just mate.
Yeah,
have a word.
Do you ever see that one in TNA where he jumped off the cage and hit the stairs?
Oh my god! Yeah,
he should have been dead.
Yeah,
but then do you know one of the
I think he's made
wrestlers do it for
suitcase
the
leather.
Wrestlers come up with cool shit they want to do and then they do it.
Yeah,
that's the trouble. I watched an ROH show opening match. One of the Briscoes was up for the championship in the main event with Jay Lethal, and it was the other one, the slightly wilder looking one, right? And he took a scoop slam. So
I don't remember their names.
Picked him up for a scoop slam and just threw him over the top rope, and he splat on the outside.
Yeah,
I'd have called the match. It's the opening fucking match.
Yeah.
What does he do? Big, crippled comeback spot.
Yeah.
No, call it done, dead.
Yeah.
Because if I did that to you, you shouldn't be able to get up. And again, when. Let's even say when his brother does a flip over the top rope onto Jay Lethal and Jay Lethal moves and he hits the floor,
it won't make a difference.
Your brother took that earlier on.
Yeah.
Somebody threw him. He didn't throw himself.
Yeah.
So when you get up now, so if the first match, fucking hell, one of the Briscoes has gone out gone out in an ambulance, and then his brother, he's done the same thing as his brother. Oh my God, he got up.
Well, it's
it must be the will for the championship.
It's the Vader powerbombing Mick Foley on the concrete, and how WWE would have handled it versus how WCW did. It's just like, cool, that'll give you an exocrine headache number 9. Indeed.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking hell.
Dead.
It's like a bad fan.
Pile drivers in the territory days. Pile driver in Mexico. Bring out the stretcher. That guy is done.
Yeah.
I'd love to see something like that within, like to rise up with. But there's no move that I could do to you in any British wrestling company, and it would be considered more dangerous than something else.
This is kind of why, although I watched that Ronda Charlotte Becky spot where they're kicking the shit out of each other, and literally in this case, as much as I loved it, if they wanted to really sell, if they wanted to put Charlotte over, they could have had that knee that she hit with Ronda. She could have just gone limp.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I was having too much fun watching them just do the comedy, beat the shit out of each other's spots.
Also wanted to make it slightly more like how people drunkenly would fight in the street.
Yeah.
You would not stop. Until you knock me down.
Fucking Ronda driving a car into another car with her hands tied behind her back is the stupidest shit I've seen in ages. But it's great. It's great.
Hulk Hogan drove a truck into The Rock. Attempted murder. But WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
He got rewarded.
There were so many things in wrestling. I remember Dean Ayers, I think, wrote an article on it. Things that would get you fired. And not even just things that you would put up with. Like,
you'd send Saturn home. You would.
Yeah.
If he had such a bad head injury. You'd send Goldust home if he's been electrocuted. What you don't do is try and put him out in the way to stop Triple H.
Not even like an Irish whip doesn't work in real life.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Outside of wrestling. Somebody's really ill backstage but still has to wrestle. No.
Yeah.
If you go to work and you chunder up 3 buckets load of puke, you're going home.
Unless somebody's sitting there watching. He's gonna puke. He's gonna puke.
Great reference.
This is why I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the negativity. But like, wrestlers just start talking to each other. Me and you, there'll just be a camera, and I'll be like, "So in our tag match, I'm gonna lift him up. You're gonna." I'd be like, fuck, there's a camera there.
Yeah.
Fucking, right, shush. Right, no, fuck off, cameraman.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, there's always that line in one of the, I think it was one of the wrestling games had the line, it's like, you camera guys always get your cameras where they don't belong.
Yeah.
Stone Cold pointed out the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite one of those is the Triple H bending over Trish.
Yeah.
spot. And Steph walks in like, what are you doing? Like, well, he was bending her over to show her a hammerlock in front of a fucking camera. It reminds me like 40
Watch the
Towers.
tape back.
If you just explained what was actually going on. Oh no, I wasn't bending her over, I'm showing her a hammerlock. Look, there's a camera here.
Yeah,
Then
wind it back 10 minutes. Yeah.
40 Towers Basil 40 always used to get in trouble because he never explained himself. He never went, oh no, I've got the deposit for the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're not hiding money from me.
No.
Or you'd be like, I was actually going to give it to you for your birthday.
Yeah.
It's a dress.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not for your mistress, it's for you. That's how sitcoms work, right?
Yeah.
And WWE, like, the old territory days always used to be there was an interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be like,
I like that
so
format.
Dow, you've got a match next Sunday, and then he might run in and hit you. Like,
What, the
it's
interviewer?
chaos.
Me and Gene's gone into business for himself.
And that's why he didn't know who was behind him.
Yeah.
Because it does make you look fucking stupid.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things ever pointed out is on another review, like wrestling thing, where there's an interview with Owen Hart sitting down, and he's facing the interviewer, but in the background, like, we don't see it, so it's just a face-on shot of Owen Hart. Then out of nowhere, inverted commas, Razor Ramon comes in, clotheslines him, but in theory, the angle, Owen would have seen him coming.
Yeah.
It's as if they don't appear until they're on camera, like, oh, I'm just going to keep you.
You've got to come from behind.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Dean Ambrose did that as a fourth wall thing, didn't he? Kevin Owens tried to attack him from behind. He ducked and then hit him with dirty deeds. And then when Kevin Owens was going up the ramp, he goes, "There's a working great TV just there." I saw it coming a mile away.
Have you wrestled with a screen showing you?
Yeah.
Isn't it really fucking distracting?
Oh, it's amazing.
First time I ever did it, like, I had the guy in the corner, I was giving him like Stone
Take
Cold
your word
boots.
for it.
I was giving him Stone Cold boots, but I was in the corner and I'm looking at myself and I like paused for half a second. I was like, oh, all right, I better go on with this. I was watching. I was like, oh, cool, I'm on.
Do you need a website?
I grabbed the microphone and went, the Formula One's on, put the Formula One on. And then literally the guy put it on and I was like, this is amazing. I got the guy in a headlock. I was like, oh, Hamilton's winning. Great. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I've finished a match. The World Cup was on. I was tagging up. Well, so I was obviously being Turkish, and I was tagging up with two Mexican inverted commas. One was clearly Indian. The other one had a maple leaf tattoo. Right, but they were Mexican.
But you can be Mexican and live in Canada. You know, Chris Benoit was based out of Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah. So we finished the match and then went and watched
Probably the most controversial thing about it.
We were like, oh, probably, yeah.
Arguably, debatable, I guess. I don't know.
It's killing it. So yeah, we went into the bar to watch the match, and we were like, oh, we'll just go from. We lost the match, and we were like, never mind. It was just roll up, so nobody was hurt. But it was like, never mind. We're going to go and watch the football.
Yeah.
Right. And then we went to the bar in our gear, like expecting the camera crew that were filming for a DVD to follow us. No, none of the fans. So it was just three dudes in a bar across the road
watching football in singlets.
Watching football, we're like. Do either of you boys like football? No, not really. Nobody's watching us.
I feel like it's going to haunt me, and I don't know why.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing I've done in my wrestling year, I think, was sit watching football in a pub literally across the road from the venue.
That seems fair.
Being in your wrestling gear for longer than you need to is. I love it because you still feel like a wrestler.
Yeah.
You want to like me. You never get changed.
If you'd been in that the next day at game, I'd have been creeped the fuck out. I'd have been like, I'm amazed he hasn't got a mop.
I once got recognised at Cannon Street Station because I was wearing a black suit with a green shirt.
No way.
And I was like,
That's awesome.
crap, I'm wearing my wrestling gear.
I mean, couldn't have asked him more because you made that a little bit more real.
Very true. It was really awkward because I was standing there and this guy kept looking at me and I was thinking, what is his problem?
Yeah.
Like, I was getting irritated. And the guy came up to me, he was like, oh, are you that wrestling guy who thinks...
NASDAQ.
Yeah.
FTSE 100. Yeah.
I love to be a move, by the way, kick him 100 times. But he was like, are you that wrestler who thinks he's funny?
Yeah.
And I got a little bit... And I was like, I want to, like, not like, yeah, great, but thinks he's funny. I am funny now.
Yeah.
There's no answer to that.
Well, you should... No, there is an answer. You go, you don't think I'm funny? What's up with that? And it's like, oh, wait, what? Hang on. I'm confused. I saw him, I recognised him in green and black. Fuck.
Have you ever seen that birthday card that's got like 9 sheep on it and one of them's got lipstick and it says, which one of these do you find more attractive?
Yeah.
You open it up and it goes, oh, so you find one of them attractive.
Yeah.
There's no answer to you think you're funny. You'd be like, yeah, that's me. Oh, wait, I mean, no, I don't think. I mean, wait. No. There's no way around that.
When did you stop beating your wife?
Yeah.
Well,
One of the other day was,
I never stopped.
Have you ever been caught masturbating in the shower?
Yeah.
No. So you do it.
Exactly. Let's say, when did you stop beating your wife? I never stopped. Wait. I never...
It was her fault for leaving the mop out.
She's like...
I've got Chris Benoit tattoo. I can make all the jokes I want.
I just love the idea that like the Radicals all had the same music, but they all had different. Like they did the Edge and Christian did the Chris Benoit is here and he's really mad. But it's like Saturn is here. Don't look. Don't look. It's weird.
But that tune's carried on. Now we get Roman.
Roman.
Like, it's just fucking
Roman.
God
has wicked
Finished with you.
Taz said that was his theme. Like, no, it's a different song.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely different. There are some that sound identical, but that one's completely different.
Yeah,
there's a really good. There's a YouTube series like some guy makes with it, which is. It's something like songs that sound like, but it's clearly wrestling songs and the songs they were inspired by.
Yeah.
Great channel.
But really cool, really good way of looking at it. He's got one of those guys like, it's just my opinion, guys. I'm like, you don't need to say that.
No, that's literally how the internet works.
That is how it works.
Yeah.
I know we're about to run out of time, but I'd
That's
love to
fine.
go back to that conversation you were saying about making things look real and for the audience. And one of my favourite things is to be the opening match.
Yeah.
Because I like to go, right, it's my job to explain to people that may never have seen wrestling before what the rules are.
Which is at least a few of every audience.
Exactly.
Be surprised.
Sure.
Because they're bringing someone.
Well, also, they're plus ones, or they might just be people who've always wanted to go to a show and never actually been to one. They watch it on
Live
TV.
wrestling is very
Absolutely.
different to watching anything on television.
Totally, yeah.
You could put the same match on again on TV and it's different.
I used to do the holiday camp shows when I was a kid. We used to go on holiday. I didn't used to do them. I mean, I used to watch them. Used to go to the holiday camp shows when I was a kid when we were on holiday, and I got really into them. And then, I did. We did Ring of Honor.
We did, yes.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that was 2005.
Something like that. Yeah. That would be about right. We watched. I was Daniel Bryan knee Roderick Strong.
Oh my
unconscious.
god, it was beautiful, beautiful.
And now
match.
they're both on they're both on WWE TV. It's
so
mad.
weird.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
So
it's
weird.
incredible. Like there's so many people on that card. I go back and I'm just like, fucking hell, that's so and so. Like
It's that guy.
that Davey Richards, the guy who can suplex you out of time and space.
And I like being the opening match because I think, right, okay, I've got to explain these rules here. So if the guy gets me in a headlock, it hurts.
Yeah.
So I need to get out of it so I can reverse the hold. Okay, the guy reverses it back.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, some people go, oh, I see, that's what wrestling is.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, well, if I'm the bad guy, how can I get out of the hold by cheating but not cheating?
Yeah.
Hold the ropes.
Yeah.
So then they go, there's rope breaks. Oh, I see. Then usually I won't give all the language away, but I'll go outside the ring.
Yep.
And then there's a count out.
Yeah.
Get to 9, got to get back in.
Yeah.
So then they go, right, they can't run away. Then have the match, do all the stuff. And I don't like to do a bump until about 2, maybe 3 minutes into the match.
Okay.
Because then you can do all the holds, and then when you do one slam, I will sell it like buggery. Go, man, that really hurt. And then that way they go, so the canvas hurts.
Yeah.
It's not padding, or whatever. And to go, and you'll like this, Omer, when I was very lucky, I got to do a cage match, and I got really annoyed.
Oh god, I saw. Yeah.
Just so jealous.
Yeah.
So when I heard it was announced, I was like, how's the Dow character going to wiggle out of the cage? And he didn't, and he had it, and I was like, you mother... Always wanted to do a cage. And never got it.
I love it.
I'd do that.
And I mean...
It's a great match.
I'd be up for that.
I
really
loved it.
enjoyed
Let's
that
do it for
match.
charity.
It's so great.
Me and you.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. You can train me up and I'll turn on you. I don't know.
And we had this, I say I suggested to the guy I was wrestling, a guy called Kyle Ashmore, who's phenomenal. And going back to, they don't expect much from me. So I sent him a message saying, I've got an idea for a finish.
Yeah.
And I think he thought I was joking for a couple of months. So I was like, right, what I want to do is, there's a move called the double stomp that Finn Balor does.
Yep.
I said, why don't you do that
Jimmy
off the
Havoc
cage?
does it onto my ribs through a table and broke one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you know it really fucking hurts even when it goes right.
I bet, yeah.
Apparently Finn Balor's one, the feet don't hurt, it's the bonsai drop you get afterwards. He lands arse on you afterwards.
Right.
Apparently that really fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because the way he does it is he lands on his feet and then he sort of rocks back.
It's like a drop kick.
Yeah.
More than, like, a lot of people do the double. Low-key used to do it where he'd be like, and he'd roll off.
Yeah. He does it like he falls backwards.
With Finn. He just lands on you. Yeah.
And going back to your thing about the Briscoes, so I was thinking, right, we'll do this end, and Ashmore was a bit like, I don't think you want to do that. And I was like, no, I do. I need an ending that sounds outrageous. I've been winding this audience up for years. There needs to be a payoff, and it has to be this move. So anyway, he's on top of the cage, about to do the move, and I forgot to tell the promoter something that I really wanted to do, because there was this thing CM Punk did, and I really loved it. He got killed, whatever, in the show, and he stayed in the ring.
Right.
So the show's ending, like they're going, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And he's still dead in the ring.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that. I wanted, because I like the idea of no one wanted to help Dow Jones.
Yeah.
No one was going to ring an ambulance.
Yeah.
No one was going to do it. Just leave him there dead. But no one understood.
Start stacking, like the equivalent of stacking chairs around you in a restaurant when they want you to leave. Just like stacking Dow Jones on top of
Somebody would have to help because you were in the fucking way.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is the point, because then what got really awkward was that we did the move, everything's great, and I think people really thought I was concussed.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to lay there and just stay there.
Yeah.
But it was really awkward because no one was packing the ring away.
Right.
And I was a bit like, I'm running away, but there's still audience here.
Yeah.
And I've taken the most ridiculous finish they've ever seen live, in theory.
Yeah.
And it got
Hopefully.
exactly. And then what got really awkward was after about a minute, it was a bit like, I have to get up now.
You know what you should have done is just look round, look to see if there's a mop, and just gone, I fucking love you.
See, to me, that's a shortcoming by anybody backstage with any fucking vision on it. Because if to fucking toot my horn, if I were there, I'd have gone, somebody needs to help Alex. Oh, is he hurt? Nobody should be.
Yeah.
So we need to fucking get someone out there.
Yeah.
That would have been the thing. Like the promoter knew the finish.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Should have fucking had someone on the curtain for you. Should have had someone just in case. Because that could have really...
it could have gone really
from the
wrong.
top, you were hanging in a tree or
Yeah, I
one.
was.
Right, you could have easily smashed... You did smash your head into the floor.
I
I'm
did,
sorry.
yeah.
But that could have gone a lot worse, right?
Yeah.
That's just one of those basics. And I know the promoter, he's a decent chap, but that's one of those things that people miss.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to run a company, because you and I look at these little things in wrestling. We're not fucking legends. We're never going to top WrestleMania.
No, that's very true.
But you and I look at the little things that matter.
I need to tell you this story. You'll love this one. I'm so sorry. I've realised that
fine.
we're taking so much of your
It's not a
time.
problem. That's the whole point
If you
you're here.
apologise enough, it doesn't matter.
It's the reason you're here.
We did. So when I'll start at the very beginning. I was getting a new job and I didn't know how serious I needed it to be, and so I was a bit like, right, I need to sort of stop the wrestling for a couple of months.
Yeah, just to get in, just to make sure it's like...
To make sure you've got all your
test
time.
the waters.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I was like, right, I
real
need to-
world comes in front of wrestling
Afraid
until
so.
real wrestling is your real world.
Yeah. And so I was a bit like, right, I need to write myself off here. There's
Yeah.
got to be a way to write me off for a couple of months, just so I've got that in the bag and I can come back, whatever. So I was like, I tell you what would be awesome is if I can do something that looked like it went wrong.
Yeah.
And it's that phrase you were saying earlier about blurring the lines, going, okay, I know that other stuff's not real.
Yeah, but this
was real.
this was real, yeah.
So I always like the idea. So we at the Gillingham shows, we have like a commentary table, and it's all my equipment, a bit like yourself. It's all
Yeah.
your stuff. So I was thinking, well, we can never do a commentary go through the table because all the gear's on it,
Yeah.
and it's going to break. Or
Yeah.
if it does break, we're buggered.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's my gear. I can break my own gear.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to.
Yeah,
So
if anybody can, it's you.
it's going to be
Yeah.
me. So we normally have like a big tripod set up.
Yeah.
But because of the tripod, it's so big, we need 2 tables to hold
Yeah.
it on there. And I thought, I wonder, if we move the tables a little bit closer to the ring, what if we did a spot that was a classic WWF thing, a drop kick from the apron, and I go through the table? Now, that's fine, normal.
Yeah.
But the icing on the cake is the camera is going to fall.
Yeah.
And the camera's going to fall from quite a height to
Yeah.
the ground. And it's that moment that people's going to go, that weren't meant to happen.
Yeah.
Because a table breaking is a table breaking.
Yeah.
But cameras falling off. And I only told the ref, obviously the wrestlers in the match,
Yeah.
and one commentator.
Yeah.
So they had the gear. And on purpose, I said, look, you got to make sure that people don't leave something on that part
Yeah.
of the table. And so we do the spot. I go through the table. And I felt bad because I don't like the phrase working the boys. I don't really like that. But there were a lot of them were like, was that meant to happen?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it was 100% meant to happen. And I sort of felt like I should have gone, damn that guy so
Yeah.
much. But what was great was when, this is where the modern wrestling is kind of cool, where I had messages on my Dow Jones page going, I hope you're all right.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. And I was a bit like, I really want to play up on like I'm dead. Like,
Yeah.
I really want. But it was nice that people had gone, I hope you're okay. Look forward to seeing you
Yeah.
again. And that's where I have a love-hate relationship with the modern world of wrestling, in the sense that you want it to be real, but actually it's quite nice that we know it's not,
Yeah.
in a way.
Well, that sort of bump you can use. I've seen that. It's a beautiful bump. It's a very Mick Foley bump.
Yeah.
Mick Foley never fell backwards, spread his arms out. You just looked at it, he went, oh fucking hell, he's gone. Mick Foley used to do that. Mick Foley would end up like upside down, leg in the air, look like he'd just been shot.
Yeah.
And that was how it looked, because we all learn how to bump, right? If I clothesline you, you fall on your back, right?
Yeah.
And so the first time you ever saw somebody got clotheslined and their legs went over their head and they landed on their spine with their toes touching the floor, you go, fucking hell. Now it's really normal.
Yeah.
But like a bump, because you didn't. That's why I hate table matches. Because you know when that ends. It ends with the big climax.
Yeah.
But when he's through the table, fucking hell, it's over. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Because you didn't set up the table, you didn't look at it, you didn't drag it closer. I've seen how you didn't look at it. I would fucking look over my shoulder. But that's what, like, again, you've got these little touches that I think a lot of people really don't use. It's the attention to the little details. I had an injury spot. I needed to be injured, just because I was getting booked on the show and on the show every month.
And I hate it.
And no, it's just the crowd were like, I needed to go up to the main event because the crowd were reacting for it. But because I wasn't, I was just going in the middle somewhere. They were getting sick of me. So I said, injure me for a couple of months, have me out.
Yeah.
And what we actually worked on was they wanted me to be there, so I was like, well, I'll manage someone.
Yeah.
So I had someone give me a Emerald Frozen. So like up on one shoulder for a power slam, but instead of slamming me forward, tuck my head under your arm and sit down. So I into the floor. It was how Misawa's. It was what he called his ultra finisher. He hit it about 5 times, got the pin. It was what
on one bloke.
He would.
I can understand why he got the pin.
Kenta Kobashi had the emerald, the burning hammer. The idea was, you're in the height of this match, and I've just given him my finisher, maybe a few times, and maybe a top rope one.
I need something
maybe
else.
I need to do the Emerald Front. I mean, it's gonna hurt him, but I mean, it's a championship match, and it ends.
And nothing else is working.
The crowd would see him, like Misawa, scoop up for the Frozen and be like.
It would be like an 8th Superman, the 8th Superman punch.
Yeah,
I've done 7 and it's not doing the trick. I really need to do that number 8.
And so I got him to give me this, and I bought myself a neck brace, which I actually found out when I bought it. If you've actually broken your neck, or they don't put you in a hard neck brace, you have a soft one. You need a little bit of movement.
Yeah, you need
bought
to.
One of these, I turned up at the
heal.
next show, and then 2 shows later, it was. I revealed that I took it off and gave him a spinning back fist with it in my hand.
Yeah.
In actual fact, the guy who I was managing was holding him in like a, arms behind the back. And where I did the spinning back fist, I hit the back fist on the guy's face, but the neck brace whipped the guy behind him in the face.
That'll learn you and all.
But the thing was, nobody got it because I was still being buried in the middle. But I love doing that sort of stuff. I love the stories. I always had these great stories of how I could do the next match, and that's like you've managed to. Like, I'm incredibly jealous because you managed to get that, like working with Sid Manelli and carrying on with him, working with Ashmore, stuff like that, to continually use these storylines. That to me, it doesn't matter. I would rather do that than have like a really sporting contest in front of 10,000 people. I'd rather have something that I could feel creatively plugged into and go, I made that.
To not so subtly brag, where I get to do a lot of these like meet and greets with wrestlers, one of the things I try and do is always ask them like, what advice would you give someone? And what would, if you could do your career again, what would you do? And the one,
because I'll do that.
And Kurt Angle, what he said to me stuck with me, and he said it at the Hall of Fame, which was quite nice. And he just said, look, matches are matches, people are people, but people want moments. And what I like is I still get people talking to me about the table thing, the cage thing. And it becomes a talking point. Like recently, for my own amusement, I don't know if Omer, you've seen it, but I had a top hat on a pole match. And it makes perfect sense in the context of that. But actually, I get to tell wrestling fans, like, I had an on the pole match and it was on with a top hat. It was ridiculous. And people go, oh yeah, that's fun.
Was it Crowley?
Charles Crowley, great guy.
He's good. He's going to go somewhere.
I mean, he
looked green as grass, so he's new, right?
Relatively new, and he's one of the best people I've met.
Green as grass. Like you could just tell there wasn't much experience there, but I could tell he's going to go somewhere.
Well, one of my favourite stories to tell is I wrestled one guy a long time ago, and he was like, I'm going to vertical suplex you, and I remember thinking, no, you're not. Like, it's not happening.
Oh God,
And he went for it. It failed miserably and horrible. So I'm a little bit scared of that move because it's gone wrong so many times. Because I can jump, but they still need to.
They need to hold you.
They need to get all your way. I'll suplex you. You need to get up.
And anyway, this Crowley, I've never met the guy before. Got on with him quite well. A bit like when I met you, Omar. It was a bit like, oh my God, this guy gets
click with someone and you get those little somebody who's attention to the same things.
And what happened was he then was like, I'm going to hold you up for a vertical suplex. And I was like, And he was like, I will. I was like, okay. And I remember thinking, I really should say no. I really should. but he does look strong because he had actual muscles.
Yeah.
And,
what are they?
He's small, but he's really sinew. He's got that he's very well shaped.
They're using that word again, Blake. I've heard talk of these things.
Muscles. Get them at the guy.
Muscles. You go to a guy and people berate you.
And we went into the position for the suplex, and I remember thinking, oh my God, here we go. I'm just going to jump, I'm going to hold. And then I went up, like upside down, and I remember going, I'm going to land on the... Oh my God, I'm upside down. I'm floating. Oh my God.
This is falling with style.
Yeah. And it's that Homer Simpson, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it hit the ground, and for half a second, there's no selling from my face. It's like, oh my God, that actually... Oh, my back. Oh, it really hurt. But he's great.
He's really good. He'll be another one that
I promise this will be my last story. I promise. Because Omar's here and I get to tell this story that he doesn't know this story. But when we wrestled the first time...
Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
What?
So you guys have obviously known Omer for a long time and all that kind of good stuff. So when I broke in and when I met Omer for the first time...
he broke me in.
Yeah.
I thought you meant he just broke into your bike shop. Can I leave this here overnight?
Get in your ghillie suit and piss off.
So I'd been, I think, wrestling 18 months, something like that. And I was getting a bit annoyed with it because everyone I was wrestling, I didn't think got it. But then it made me go, I don't get this because I'm not having fun.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
If everybody's disagreeing with you and they all agree with one thing, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's the basic.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
I'm
you
going,
can think.
I don't think this is for me. And anyway, so fast forward story. Met Omer, never met him properly before. I'd seen him on shows, whatever. And then just started talking. I was a little bit scared, if I'm honest, because I was a bit like, I don't really know this guy. Anyway, started chatting. I was like, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
And then started chatting a bit more. And then we started planning the match. And then I was like, oh my God, there's actually cool people doing this. There are people that are, and hopefully you won't be offended by this, but I was going, there are people like me doing this. And then we had our match, and then afterwards, I like to think it's become a friendship over time.
Definitely.
And but if I did not have that match, I would have stopped.
Really?
That's what I needed to tell you, is that I would have stopped because that match then made me go, I get it. This is what you can do with this. This is where you can have the fun. And I sort of regret not doing that earlier, if you know what I mean, where we could have had more fun with that.
I never had an Omer. Because when I retired, it was because I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do. There was no position. And there weren't enough. I wrestled for one company predominantly. I wrestled... And I knew I might not have been main event. I was not championship material. Do not put a company on my back. Right, that's not going to work. But I could be up there. I could threaten. Either as comedy or as straight, I could threaten every now and again.
Yeah, I did offer to do a program with you, and you were just like, "No, I'll hurt you. You're terrible. You're awful. You're also terrible at wrestling."
I bought medals. I bought because I always want to do more gimmick, more stuff. I bought medals that I used to take with me. I bought a pack of 50 fake Olympic medals.
Amazing.
Right? Just ones that you give to kids for like. Finishing 500 metres swim or
fucking millennials, am I right?
Right? But I got little wrestling ones, and the idea was I wanted to go to shows and have the face steal them off me, and then we'd come back next month and I could do that all around the horn.
Yeah,
right? You have a different one, and fuck you, I got loads.
Championship belt, much like yourself. You've done absolutely successfully with your championship belt. What I wanted to do, a bullshit belt that matters only to you, but you make it matter on that night. That I made that. I tried all these different things. I tried making myself more like a legitimate Olympic wrestler, more funny. Pushed that I won a 2,000-man battle royal in Cyprus and pushed all this stuff to try to get gimmick, and nobody took a chance on what I knew I could do because I was still the slightly podgy, not great technical wrestler in a time when people and this is no slight to them, Zack Sabre Jr. was coming up in Triple X Wrestling and showing everybody else up because he was fucking fantastic and still is. He's still my favourite active wrestler today.
God, yeah.
Jimmy Havoc was doing the deathmatch stuff and just being, and then being an anarchistic cunt afterwards, right? And just being really good at that. All these other John Ryan and Dave Mastiff and Johnny Moss were being the hard bastards. And I knew I had something else to offer, and nobody took the thing. And I never had that meeting with somebody who got what I wanted to do. It was always like, then we'll do the comeback spot. I got faces that wanted to technical wrestle or a comedy guy. Nobody who wanted to do this kind of medium where I can use a bit of comedy with you. Triple X Wrestling up in Coventry was the closest I got. But I absolutely got creative with them once I stepped out of the ring. Me and Nick, that used to run it when Jex stepped down. we would message for hours into like 4 a.m. with just storylines for Pete Dunne and when he was with them and the women's division. We would write whole shows, and I started writing. It was so good, and unfortunately not a lot of my ideas came to fruition because the shows started getting cancelled at the last minute.
But actually this kind of brings it back to this. There's a commentary track for one of the pay-per-views.
There is.
Which is me and you.
Yeah, for one of the pay-per-views that we did.
Yeah.
And we sent it off, and it never really got, because Triple X unfortunately went under. I love Triple X. The thing with Triple X is it exposed me to a massive audience, and all the greatness I had from wrestling in Britain came from Triple X. But it could have been so much better, and I'm not bitter about it.
No.
Right?
But you feel
I'm
like
32 years old tomorrow. Right, so
yes, of course.
I'm 32 years old tomorrow. I've got a 3-year-old girl. I've got a very happy relationship. I've got my own business. Things are things are on the horizon. I'm very happy.
Yeah,
but I never got to quite do what I could have done in wrestling.
You feel like there's potential there.
Not I would have gone to WWE, because I never would have done. I never had. I'm absolutely honest with myself, and being honest with yourself is really important.
Yeah.
I never had the drive to go to the gym 7 days a week.
No.
I never had the drive to go and do judo lessons,
clanging and banging,
to get better at what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I never had the drive to be as big, but I knew I could do better with what I already had.
Yeah.
And I get that nobody took the gamble, because there wasn't as much wrestling as there is now in Britain.
Sure.
And there wasn't as much time, and why give me? But any time I did, I like to think I absolutely shone.
Yeah.
Our match on the Arc one, the one where you went under the ring and I was stomping around on it.
That's great.
I wasn't even comfortable with what I was doing. It had nothing to do with you, but I was trying to do more of like a straight laced gimmick rather than comedy. I was still really happy with being able to show you up with the technical wrestling. That was fun, right? I enjoyed that. Anytime I got to be in the ring with somebody who kind of got what I wanted to do, or somebody that was basically somebody who was less experienced than me and let me do what I wanted, they were my best matches. Or the time that John Ryan guided, because he got that I wanted a hard hitting motherfucker match, right? And he let me have that, and I did it.
We're gonna hit hard and fuck people's mothers.
I had somebody at ringside, he hit
He's gonna fuck us. He's gonna fuck.
He hit me with I call him a British cane. It's before we got the money in British wrestling to get Singapore canes. It was just like 6 bamboo sticks taped together with a bit of
fucking hell. When you said we called it British cane, I thought British Undertaker was like, why did you hire him?
You're only supposed to tombstone the bloody doors off.
You fucking mug.
A piece of it flew off into the crowd while I was taking a beating, and a member of the crowd took this splinter and was ready to stab John Ryan in the eye when he came to ringside, right? So it is bitter. I am bitter, right? Because if you'd let me do what I knew I could have fucking made money.
We've been through this. I didn't have any say over this. I wish I had. He looks at me with such venom.
At the time, I was getting massive reactions, more than the main events, in some venues, some companies, right? And it wasn't, at the time, I thought it was people protecting the top spot for themselves. And it wasn't that. It was just people didn't get what I wanted to do. And I think now, make me a younger man, I wish. Make me a younger man and let me do.
Again,
let me come out with these ideas.
Through this. I don't. If I could, do you think I'd be doing this? I'd have found some way to be minted off this. But I would be. I probably would be doing this, because it would be all the time, because I'd be fucking minted, because I'd have figured out how to reverse the aging process. Do you have any idea how many cosmetic companies would take the call on day one alone? Then not even to think of the medical
things. Dead people not look dead. Hold on. We could hire a corpse, right?
Yeah.
And we could put him in the UFC, right? And we could win every match with him.
I feel like episode 79 of The Crazy Train Onward should have an extra character called Dead Barry, who's just completely silent. Not to infringe on your gimmick.
I was going to say, fuck
But if you want to pay me really soppy compliments out there, I do actually I keep up with your videos and that, and absolutely live vicariously through what you're doing now. I watch the cage matches, I'm like, look at that. And you do, I'm so proud, I think is the word, because I watch what you do and I'm like, he really gets it. And you're not going to headline WrestleMania either.
Of course not.
You don't want to. Well, if it was there, you'd take it, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to think he would be. No.
You are the
forget it.
very best of the term weekend warrior. Because you don't need it. You're relatively successful in your professional field.
That's very
right?
kind.
You don't need wrestling for
Take
the
that,
money.
boss. Yeah.
You're good at what you do, and I see you love it.
When they hear this back, they'll be like, yeah, he is. He's pretty good.
We're friends as well as, people who wrestle. I see your personal posts of the shit you're doing at work, and you genuinely enjoy what you do. You are happy when you go to work.
That is very true.
Your hobby.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Is this ridiculous wrestling thing? And people, like, you are Dow Jones in that way, because you are incredibly successful at what you do, and it doesn't matter how successful you enjoy it. You don't need wrestling, but you do it because you love it, because you enjoy what you're doing. So, like, you really have taken your own advice and turned yourself up to 11. Dow is absolutely real. He's just a lot nicer than the lime green wearing prick.
Yeah, take that, wheelchair boy.
Take that, wheelchair boy.
The problem is, up until that point, it's like, it's really good, and then you say that, and that'll be the bit that gets clipped.
No, see, this is modern men, right? Because I basically have just like gone, oh, you're a nice guy, I love what you're doing, and then you go, thanks, joke. That's the equivalent of us having a lovely hug and having to pat each other's back and say no homo while we do it. That's the equivalent.
I just assumed you'd take that wheelchair kid with the episode title.
Jesus Christ. You put me in such an awkward position.
For all the modern, like,
because it's a really good idea.
For all the modern, like, men's mental health issues and people are talking now, right? There's wonderful.
There are guys who's
going to be the last fucking place.
There are guys who love mops. Honestly.
No, wrestling's full of people who get into it because they're damaged. They're damaged. Right? They get into it because they feel that it's not for them.
I think that's true
you have to be like you are. Happy, successful, that little bit of crazy that helps you be creatively crazy, but you have to be with it and switched on to get by in wrestling, because it will fucking eat you. It ate me. Like, I didn't have any mental health problems, and it forced me out because I wasn't happy with it. Because it's more frustrating than it's exciting. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I used to say, if I could just transport to, like, being in the ring, finish my match, get home, I'd do it. The travel, and this is just the UK, we don't travel like the States do. The travel used to grind me down, the politics used to grind me down, blah, blah. But being in the ring, like, and if you can find your happy balance where you find the level that you're at and you can put your creativeness out there, that's so important. I do it with my miniatures and with painting and stuff like that. I'm creative in the ways I want to be creative. I don't do anything I don't want to do. Right? And wrestling used to make me do a lot of things that I didn't want to do. And you've got the point where you don't need to do these things. And it just, but you got to do a fucking cage match.
I'm trying to think of a bucket list of, like, what's left. What is left realistic?
That's a great question.
Ladder, the table, the cage.
As much as I hate table matches, but they're on the bucket list of ones.
There's very few things.
Have you?
Go for it.
I don't want to, like, because again, there's a line of kayfabe and there's a line of inside.
War games.
Has anybody made you bleed yet?
War games.
No.
Is that something you'd be averse to?
I would like to do. I'll be honest. I'll tell you what I do want to do at some point is Loser gets his head shaved.
War games. War games.
So, okay. We'll put it in kayfabe. Would you be averse to doing, like, a first blood match and losing? If you lost that match, would that be okay? Would you be prepared to lose a first blood?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
You've never lost a first blood match before?
No,
Oh, man. It's fucking scary the first time, trust me.
Yeah, I bet.
You do your leg the night before in the shower.
Yeah, but that's your demons. That's nothing to do with... No. That's not practice.
Finn Balor in my shower. Finn Balor.
God, can you imagine how fucking creepy that would be? You're just like...
I was in your...
I made that sound a bit Home Improvement again.
Okay, so that's a bucket list thing to do.
That is definitely. I think
that is one. Pins.
Yeah,
I have that. To be fair, I have podcast bucket lists. You know, I think anything you like. To be honest, like the little inspirational speech you gave there is to sign me up for 100 more episodes, because I was done. Like, this was just going to wind down, leave on a high.
Are you going to continue to?
That thing I do.
Appreciate things.
Appreciate.
Keep a beat.
I thought you were like, what are you wanting? 16 downloads. That's what I want.
Dream big, motherfuckers. One day you could be a red shirt too.
Like I play X-Wing at a like the miniatures game X-Wing. And my aim for this year is, one of them was to play internationally, even if that was, Ireland, or apparently getting to Poland, getting a hotel is cheaper than going to Milton Keynes and playing there.
I believe it.
So that's looking like it's going to. But the other one is. The term is win dice. Right. It means win so like alternative coloured dice.
Okay.
Are a reasonably higher level prize.
Yeah.
So my aim is win dice.
Get high enough into the tournament that you can get as the prize.
High enough at a high level tournament to win dice.
And that's
you've got a bucket list thing. You've got to have aims of things, and you keep moving them. My first one in wrestling was have a match. Have a match.
That seems like a good one to start with.
Get paid.
Get gimmick involving
I
dead
got
brother.
a £5 check for my first match.
Wow.
And I actually saw, this made me feel really good, El Ligero has exactly the same first payment, and he got it framed too.
So if you got money for actually doing the wrestling, you've made more in that day than I ever did doing stand-up.
There you go.
True story. Podcasting's slightly more lucrative, but not by much.
It depends.
And I mean,
I
do not say that lightly.
Depends on your sponsors. Dick pills. There's going to be, again, one person that would have listened to last week's Jim Cornette podcast who's going to laugh every time I go, dick pills.
Do you need a website? Some penis?
Do you know what? He's not as bad because he's like, okay, we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Here's an advert. Chris Jericho.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell, he's the worst. Yeah. He really is. He's like, so Becky Lynch, we'll get back to talking to you later. But have you ever thought about a mattress? And it's clear that it's been cutting because Becky will be like, yeah, I travelled from Ireland to.
Yeah.
So Becky, have you
thought about mattresses? I mean, it wasn't relevant to what I was about to say, but sure.
Then you do that
I
one
probably
side,
thought about
then you do
mattresses
the Mr.
once.
DNA conversation,
Right.
Where you're like, oh, I have lines. Is that like, have you ever thought about getting a mattress? You haven't. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know whether he thinks someone's going to edit it.
Yeah. Yes.
And I love Jerry.
I am Big Show.
One of my favourites ever. But the dude can't advertise for shit.
No.
Even when he's cutting to himself advertising his own shit.
Yeah. No, we'll find out more from the Big Show in a second, but have you ever thought about mattress? Yes, I have thought about. I am Big Show.
Hey, Big Show, have you ever thought about mattress?
Where?
That's the second piece we need to put in
Yeah,
stereo.
I'll make sure that happens, don't worry.
Oh, you're going to have to cut out my laughing, I'm afraid.
Dwayne Johnson, when should you wash? If you're smart! God, I remember when...
The real reason I always used to say what was because I needed a hearing aid from Hearing Aids UK.
Well, which is not the charity you think.
I hear AIDS.
Anyway, on that note,
fucking hell. You can leave that bit in.
On that note, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's good. Other drinks are available. Other refreshments are available. So on that note, I think it's time that the Crazy Train grinds to a halt. But I'm sure if you've enjoyed it 10% as much as I have, then you've had a fucking wonderful time. Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
I think we'll do this. I'm speaking for the guy who does it, but we'll do this again.
Thanks.
This is fun.
Hey,
maybe we should review WrestleMania.
Bucket list thing.
Bucket list.
Get to the point where I'm generous with my own time. Being signed up for fucking
We're
shit.
going to start the E15 podcast. The Crazy Train.
If you smell.
I'll put it this way. Did you listen to the last Wacky Coach? No, you fucking didn't.
No one did.
Nobody ever has. So if you've enjoyed the Crazy Train and not the Wacky Coach, because nobody ever has, then you can find us on all the good podcasting platforms. We're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. My eyes are stinging.
I thought you were squinting to try to remember all the call-outs.
No. My eyes are just really sore. So we're on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all the good Android feed ones, and all the shit ones. We're fucking everywhere.
Best effect.
I'm not exaggerating when I say my eyes really hurt. They're just stinging, and I don't know why, and it sucks, and I hate it. I'm getting emotional now.
It's the other sort of sting.
Yeah, that's the one. The one with the police. Yeah. So, damn it. So, if you've enjoyed the show, you can find us on all the good podcasting platforms and some of the shit ones. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. I think they're two different things now. Who fucking keeps track? YouTube, Spreaker, the works. And you can go to emotionally14.com and find this episode and all the other episodes and, access it through the player that way. I'm going to give everybody a chance to plug their own social media stuff in a second, but you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at emotionally14, the website emotionally14.com, and the Facebook page emotionally14. Alex, as our guest, Where can people find you on social media?
Best bet will be on Facebook with Dow Jones Wrestling. You will need to type in the wrestling part as well, because if you just type in Dow Jones,
Yeah,
you can
fair.
get lots of stuff.
It's the only trouble with getting something that's already like, you don't own it.
They mess with the fucking algorithms.
It's a little bit like calling myself Coca-Cola.
Fair.
I know this will
That's
have a
why the
limited run.
band A called themselves A. You
Right.
try when early internet downloads came about. You try searching for A on LimeWire.
Yeah, it works.
That's a very good point. That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
So Dow Jones Wrestling on Facebook, and also to plug the United Kingdom Professional Wrestling Group as well.
Nice.
Heavily involved with those guys, but again, both on Facebook.
Cool. Omer.
There's nothing much wrestling based for me
That's
coming
okay.
out now. I've got away from that.
You're a guest in general, so...
Can't Sleep Must Paint is my painting miniatures and gaming modifying blog thing. Instagram is the most active because I find that when I put stuff on there, people actually get to see it.
That's
so
good.
at Can't Sleep Must Paint on Instagram. Can't Sleep Must Paint is on Facebook as well. It's there. It's really just a good way to contact me. Add me on Facebook as well. I'm fairly social on there with stuff.
Right.
I have a blog again. Look, can'tsleepmustpaint.word. Is it word?
Press?
WordPress. That's the one I'm on. .com, and I have a TeePublic page. Go there and buy my shit.
You out. Yeah, nice.
Again, Can't Sleep Must Paint on TeePublic will get you all my little Star Warsy designs.
Indeed.
I've just got a new iPad and I'm learning new ways to draw, and I don't know how my pictures are turning out so good because
Nice.
I think
They are very
I
good.
think I might be cheating. It's what you do something like that's really good. How the fuck did I do that? Well,
Yeah.
I'll never do it again. Oh, I've done it again.
I have this body of published work you might have heard of.
One fucking ass.
Blake, I know you're massive on social media.
Oh, of course. Yes, you can find me.
He doesn't even say it with enthusiasm anymore. Yes, absolutely. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Joke.
Buy a mattress.
If you smell
If you smell
Smell of
one,
a mattress, then you can also find me on Facebook. You can find me.
how did he do the seamless one? From all that bullshit, he pulled that out.
Sniper, bitch. You can find me on Instagram at Harmer the Appreciator, and you can also find me on Twitter, if you can find me, at Fucksake Blake.
Yep. And fun fact, fuck's sake Blake is the reason I can never boost Facebook posts, because it goes into, like, for some reason now they go onto the page and go, oh no, naughty words.
Brilliant.
But they can get cunted. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob Wade Vision if you like zingers like I just delivered there. And obviously, if you're interacting with Emotionally 14 on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, you're generally dealing with me.
Yeah, usually so.
And we've also got Facebook groups, so Crazy Train Podcast, E14 Gamecast, Talk Star Wars is part of Emotionally 14 now because, gotta have it. But that's it. I mean, there's so much cool stuff on emotionally14.com. You can go there and find all sorts of crazy shit. Podcasts and YouTube shows and written things and
Reviews and stuff.
reviews and things and all sorts
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
It's good lunchtime reading.
It's lovely,
The
yeah.
reading part of it.
yeah.
I tend to go there and thought, what shall I read today? I'll
nice
read something
little-
from here
Yeah,
while I'm
it's
eating
nice.
my sandwich.
Yeah, it's nice. We should think about that demographic a bit more. The
Bread
sandwich
lovers.
eating lunch
I'm going
eaters.
to write like a meal deal review.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm in.
It'd just be you. What's Alex had for lunch today? 14 energy drinks.
I can see through time and space.
Wasn't even legal. I'm Dow Jones, bitch.
Anyway,
So true. Oh, before we go,
Sure.
Jeremy wrote it.
he didn't
What
know.
did he say?
This is the thing. We Jeremy, we made you a theme song. You ungrateful son of a bitch.
So it's my favourite jingle.
No, it's good. No, it's absolutely. And I know I talked to you before the show, and he's like, I was so hoping to be able to sing along with it. And no, Jeremy, stop writing in. So no, we don't know what you said. So Jeremy, you heartless bastard. This poor man came all this way, and you've ruined it.
I'm going to suplex him through a fucking window.
Exactly.
With a cut angle way so he hits his head on the floor twice.
There you go.
And then I give up and just lob him.
Yeah, just throw him through the nearest thing. But thank you very much for listening to the Crazy Train Hall of Train ceremony. Hopefully this one's out in time for Mania, otherwise that gets worse with every passing week, as the reference goes.
Either enjoy WrestleMania or I hope you enjoy. I genuinely mean that. Even if WrestleMania is bad, I love it every year. It's lycra-clad Christmas to
It's
me.
so much fun, isn't it?
It's just
Like,
there.
yeah,
It's just
a
enjoy it or have
spectacle.
enjoyed it.
Indeed.
I hope Becky's champion soon.
Enjoy all 127 hours
Oh,
of
Yeah,
it.
Jesus
indeed,
Christ.
yeah.
Undertaker isn't even on. Can you imagine how long it'd be? If Undertaker and Orton, if they did the old entrance, where there was an entrance at either side of
Yeah.
the ring, Undertaker and Orton would have to start at the same fucking time.
Yeah, this is it. They just have the two bits of music blending in over each other. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train. Thank you, Alex, for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Omer, for returning.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Blake, as always. You are
I never left.
my rock. And until next time, this train terminates here.